we have ever seen this.
That's insane.
Okay,
I mean, yeah.
we know that Frost really is determined to take down a lot of the Korean teams here in Pacific. This looks personal today.
That's on home soil.
Oh
This
my
is personal.
goodness.
He knows he's in Seoul, right? Okay. I mean, look.
All right.
I'm floored by
Well,
that.
I know. We're absolutely speechless right now. I can't believe that just happened, but Frost has made his statement, his position really clear.
Wow.
And you know what? When you are throwing the gauntlet in like that, you better win.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a slap in the face for Termi. That's trying to punch the wind out of him before this game even starts. That's saying, I don't care about your legacy, I don't care about your team, we're here to win.
That's some mental warfare. I think the team though is going to have to take a step back from that. That's like angry dad energy where you're like, no, I'm chill. I don't got anything against you, bro. Like, it's just my dad is mad. Look, let's look at the predictions here, and we're pretty split. A couple of Talon believers.
Prediction.
I would have thought you would go for
Mùa chèn
Talon,
mất cái
I
dự
know, I
đoán của
thought
BBD
about
rồi.
it really hard. I love both of these teams. I love all my Pacific babies, and I have been slightly biased towards Talon, yes. But you know what? Facts are facts, and they won yesterday. So they are not gonna win today, I think.
Yeah,
Also, when
the
Frost
curse.
does things like this, Termi is gonna be activated.
Oh, into the agent select here. DRX are actually going the harbor route rather than what Talon brought last time. They're going up against a flashless comp here, and it's worth mentioning that Frost kind of expressed that he was quite comfortable playing against the harbor that Nongshim brought out on a set yesterday, so he'll know how to play around that, and we'll see if that trickles down into how Talon approaches this one.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Talon literally already ran this DRX comp, apart from with Sova instead of Teo. So the way you play is going to be very, very similar. So I feel like Talon might have all the answers here, but equally, they don't have a lot of flashes. If they get stuck behind those walls, things will be in trouble.
Absolutely. I mean, that's how Gen G dismantled that Talon Harbor comp, is the fact that they were running in with a KO Yoru. So flashes really help you tackle a lot of these Harbor comps. We'll see how DRX executes it at the end of the day. It's another game where we'll see Killjoy for Bane. He's on that Senti roll so many maps right now.
Vào xem cửa hàng
That's right. I think this is gonna be, you know what? I thought of the two matches today, this would be the less spicy one. But now that things are
That's so
set
crazy.
the
That's
way
crazy.
they are,
So crazy.
the way
not
that
fist
Coach
bump.
Walkout went, the way these Asian comps are going, this is going to be a very different kind of lower brackets. It's all or nothing between these two squads.
I mean, disbelief. I mean, that's
Theo
like,
lịch là hôm
there's a
nay
lot of energy here. Talon really won this game.
All
Talon sẽ
right,
thua.
well, we got
Okay.
something a little bit different today. A little different here on the caster desk. We got Achilles and Komodo.
That's right, thank you very much. Already off to a roaring start, it would seem. But hello, I'm Achilles, and I'm here alongside Komodo. I've exchanged the old bottle, gotten a new one.
Anh có xem với cả Boom không á?
Being next to you, I
No.
already feel more youthful.
Tí nữa
I
trận
feel
với
like,
với cả Boom
you know,
thì
I'm
anh
not
ngồi
having
xem
the life sucked out of me
PUBG
by
mất rồi.
everything, which happy birthday to him yesterday.
Hôm
40
nay ngày
years
cuối
old,
PUBG
very
anh em
old.
ạ, ngày cuối chung kết tổng PUBG. Ngồi cổ vũ cho TE vô địch chưa? Mấy anh em em lại không xem đúng không? Nên là mình sẽ chỉ xem còn Pacific để đến hết trận đầu tiên thôi anh em ơi.
But anyway, the EDM button has been pressed. There has been spice spilled out on this stage. Not fighting words, but fighting actions as we jump into
Để xem mà
this
Talon ngày hôm
series.
nay nó có đang canon đấy mà hôm nay này.
Versus DRX, both of these teams vying to stay in the tournament to still have that chance at Toronto.
Yeah, another elimination game coming in towards this one. A lot on the line for our stage one winners, or playoff winners rather, in DRX. China also maybe get a win here today to continue the run on in. Straight out on the harbor as well. Interesting for me. Generally comfort role on a stage, for example, but coming towards Icebox, it's DRX choosing the attacking side. And now with the lurk that's coming up from
Nhưng mà nó lại rất là khỏe. Nó lại khỏe hơn so với việc mà các bạn sử dụng những cái con khác.
Couple shots out there. Hunting for
Bình thường là có thể sẽ là một con Omen đấy.
Mako gonna find a kill. Doesn't he suspect it? Oh, seems like he does. Goes ahead, trades it up 2-1 in that regard. In the meantime, back over here on the A side. For me up over the top, able to find
nhát chém này Talon rất cần nhá. 3v3.
Damage suffered, but ultimately we find ourselves now in a 3v3.
Getting the plant top site as well. Got to remember freeing on the Teo 2.
Là bom đẹp đi dây ra bên ngoài. Thằng Thi đang chừa một cái thao minh để đi móc này. Nhưng mà bên DRX cũng quyết định là kê từ xa. Ring kê góc này thì đảm bảo là Thi nó không đi qua được. Quan trọng ai sẽ là người chủ động cái tình huống này thôi. Ai bình tĩnh hơn thôi. Thi là kê đấy. Mỗi tội là Ring nó có kéo. Đinh rồi. Bây giờ vấn đề là Thi biết là bọn này định bắt nó. Nhưng mà nếu như nó không đẩy vào thì đồng đội bên trong sai cũng sẽ không có cơ hội. Bởi vì đơn giản là bên kia thằng Ring nó sẽ chơi rocket mà. Cho đến khi mà con Teho này nó chính thức bị nớp ấy thì may ra là mới có nhiều thay đổi chứ bây giờ nó thật các bạn. Con Teho này vẫn đang khỏe quá. Hello PN Gaming nha em. Anh em mới vào cho mình xin một like nhé, thì mọi người nhiều. Hôm nay on stream hơi sát giờ xem giải tí. Nhiều anh em vẫn còn đang ở những cái vị trí khác, mọi người ở chỗ ngồi nào.
They'll be alright with. And it's also interesting the change up for Talon for me coming back in towards this one too, right? Of course, last time they played this map, they changed up their comp. They're going back to the one that they bested T1 on a couple weeks back. It was a good 13-6 with a flawless defensive half. Already right now, dropping the pistol means it's not going to be flawless.
Tôi cũng chẳng biết là liệu có phải là một bản hợp đồng nó kiểu phù hợp với cả DRX hay không. Mình thấy flashback nó không có bất cứ một cái vấn đề gì. Bản thân flashback là một thằng khá là ok.
Spot out on a one, but good amount of damage gonna be suffered there by Hyunmin. Makes his quick exit, still has that Guardian in hand as Frink comes away with a second, a third. Oh my god, the fadeaway shot in the final bullet.
Đam viên cuối ạ.
And Amako swooping out will find Kalua. DRX looking to make this a flawless anti-eco.
Let's see what damage Premier can do here. A couple low members.
And we'll just be Frink picking up a 4K. To fast track towards that Armageddon. So 2 charges off, having that one at the ready. DRX lock in the flawless.
And Bane not noted on the lurk as well, something that he's starting to
lúc nào chẳng nét rồi các bạn. Từ khi mà nó bắn ở giải ở Trung Quốc đã thấy tay rất là to rồi. Thật ra tôi cũng không lạ được cái việc mà một team tier 1 nào đấy ở Hàn Quốc mà bế Ring về. Dù sao nó cũng là người Hàn mà đang thi đấu ở giải Trung rồi. Nó cũng giống kiểu RP ấy. Nhưng mà khá là bất ngờ khi mà RP không phải là người được gọi về trong hầu hết tất cả các cái bản hợp đồng ở gần đây. Đúng không? Anh em công nhận không? Rất nhiều người về nhưng lại không phải là RP. Nghĩa là mặc dù mình nói AB vẫn là một player chất lượng nhá, AB vẫn ngon nhá, so với các đội tuyển khác ấy. Trong cái khu vực ấy, AB vẫn là player ổn nhá, nhưng mà người ta lại không ưu ái đến anh AB này cho lắm. Ngày xưa ở trong khu vực Pacific chắc chỉ có mình anh ấy bắn cái con niông người nghệ, nó thật. Các anh khác bắn con niông như cứt, phải là con niông vào tay của anh AB cơ, bắn mới ghê.
Ultimately, still looking to go for this A site though.
Capped on those regen shields as Stealth Drone not going to be spotting out too much here. Drone over the top from Cruz, able to get the spot out, and that holds him at bay here for now. Meanwhile, Stealth Drone going around the back, going to be able to get the scan here onto Mako. Tucks back under 2, but now he's in a really poor spot. Double pressure out from Talon here at Garage. Lua just swinging back, realizing that the DRX are going to look to go ahead and try to re-swing this across into the B site, where now Mako is in an entrenched position.
And a lot of passiveness from the rest of Talon over at that A site as well, so getting the
inkling that this is going to switch over towards sai. Rồi đồ mạo tốt từ Thi nhưng mà Thi cần phải làm thêm. Nếu mà Thi nằm xuống quả này thì nó lại hơi phí quá. Thi phải làm ít nhất một nữa. Một nữa là chắc chắn thắng. Về đẹp. Bên kia có một cái shield mà Cruz chỉ cần bắn 2 có shot đạp nó thẳng trong vị trí là spy thôi là bên kia yếu máu rồi, thậm chí là chết. Đó. Bạn không thể đặt bom được ở trong tình huống này.
Cruz able to find one plant having to be stuck, but they're just getting overwhelmed and taken down. Talon will go ahead and get themselves online. Just one casualty here in the anti-bonus.
Yeah, a lot of great patience from Talon as well. A great start with Primi picking up the first kill, not immediately dashing away. Even, you know, coming in towards this round, you're looking at a bit of a weaker bonus for DRX on the shield department, but there's no real push from DRX either. The time getting the better of them, the lurk timing, or rather the flank timing coming out, I really like from Talon in that one. Great recognition for the drone from Killua too. If he's always going to be pushing Garage and they're going to be going there in tandem, we're going to have to see some adjustments early on from DRX to make sure that they're not crunched up on.
At the top, there's the reveal out. 3 players going to be spotted, kill not found. tiny bit of damage, but otherwise still relatively safe, but it's a good amount of information gained for Talon off the rip.
And same kind of setup for them as well, just leaving Jit Boys in through mid in a different location, not kitchen this time specifically, but for the remainder of the squadron, it's pretty much the same. Need to see some heroics from Marco to try and do something at the B side of the map, but for right now, DRX just playing the patient game, drone out, confirming that there's still members surrounding the A site. As the minute mark approaches, this is where you would assume that DRX start to layer in a little bit more of this utility, get some information from freeing.
A little bit more emphasis on mid here, Mako.
Join
in, make this
bú khu có bú cham chắc là không.
Recall on the alarm bot, check into the window, but
đến được Master Toronto cũng gọi là cái may mắn cực đại rồi. Giờ lại còn mong là bú cả cham nữa thì khó.
Sticks around, goes for the peak. Jit Boy's going to be taken down. Primi here on that right hand side on the approach, but it's going to be Pain coming away with the kills. Cruz gets taken out. Primi still here. The tail expiring, needing to buy some damage and can just push up into the cover. They're watching for. The answer is absolutely.
Hai thằng cùng kê thì vào hộ.
Right there on top. As now the
tầm này gọi là vào hộ luôn. Cho các bạn móc thì bộ tôi vào sai.
Yeah, just gonna retreat, set up for the post properly here.
Phương án xử lý nó chẳng có gì phức tạp. Các bạn móc thì chúng tôi vào sai.
3 players going to be lost. Cash not in the greatest position. Primi, granted, does have knives, so can go ahead and pull those out in the next round. And DRX going to be allowed to move up 3-1 here to start things off on Icebox.
There's always a position as well.
Talon ngày hôm nay là hôm nọ vừa thắng non-sim rồi. Tức là hôm nay theo cái chuỗi Igor của họ thì thua.
Definitely have a couple of components that you could work with coming in towards the next round, but it is another highlight of DRX wanting to play this one extremely slow, seeing if there's any overextension from the Talon members, which there isn't really too much, so we might see a little bit more haste from DRX put into the fray in the next coming rounds.
Sao nhìn khẩu Singularity Vandal này nó cứ
gì nhỉ?
Yeah, but a change up immediately from Talon as well. 3-1-1 setup. So Cruz probably not incentivized to be grabbing that ulti by himself.
Trận 2 mình lại xem PUBG mất rồi. Rất đáng tiếc là đến cái lúc mà Peppa Pig nó bắn thì mình lại đi xem PUBG. May không có thời gian để xem hết tất cả các trận anh em ạ. Tí nữa PUBG bắn chung kết tổng của PGS7 ngày cuối cùng rồi. Phải sang xem cổ vũ cho mấy người anh em Việt Nam của mình chứ.
Give out the early alert. Obviously, numbers won't be confirmed, but they'll be able to go ahead and no presence. Mako at the same time, though, might be getting caught on
sau đó thì một bên đời.
Rồi
Rồi chiếc rune sẽ thu hút sự chú ý. Một người phá. Mako sẽ nghĩ chỉ có một móc thôi. Mako khéo chưa? Tất cái lưng của mình ngay lập tức. Rồi không sao cả. Bên này nó có sao. Bay đến để bắn.
Now DRX, as they go for the plant, they're going to have to play a battle on two sides of the map.
Primi just looking to try to get the one tap, finds it. Hyunmin does manage to shut him down before he can do more damage. Finds the follow-up on the tie to keep this now into a 3v2. Clean shots from Hyunmin, bailing them out here in the round. And as the wall falls, so
too tay to vãi đái luôn, bảo sao mà chúng nó đẩy bớt đi được thoải mái. Lúc mà bớt đi cảm giác không có sự tiếc nuối nào của DRX cả. Không ra được. Ôi, có hướng đi ra. Kéo léo phết. Giữa khẩu Helix với khẩu Recon Phantom đánh khẩu nào hơn á? Anh thích Recon Phantom hơn. Mặc dù Helix cũng rất là ngon.
Yeah, a little bit of a unfortunate scenario for Talon when you consider that they've got the numbers and the pieces on the flank as well. Got some good blade action coming through from Primi, but it's just a counterjet and Hyunmin hitting some very crispy headshots. You see them back in the replay, and they're all individual jewels that have been sent his way as well. There's no double picks coming in from Talon, so definitely want to make sure that they're shaking off a couple of those nerves, getting a couple of their communications in the better scenario. Because it's going to be another one here where it's not the greatest buy to come through for Talon. Time of pause as well, so we're going to have a bit of a discussion to have.
No, we're not.
No, it's the wrong one. We had one yesterday. It was very quick. It was a small gear issue.
Oh,
but I feel like you on the desk cursed it a little bit because you get some big ones.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, yes, that's true.
Yeah.
In the past. It's been all right.
Nói chung là không lạ nếu như ngày hôm nay là thua 2-0 luôn anh nhá.
We were, in and out. So, hopefully.
Chuẩn bị sẵn cái tinh thần đi. Hai nho. Sủi.
Is looking like perhaps over here on the side of Talon. Yep, being told similar gear issue here. So hopefully something relatively quick, get this dealt with and back underway. But I'm right there with you. I was expecting it to potentially be that timeout call.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw the timer start making it past that 25-second remaining mark, I'm like, okay, there's still
Hôm qua em stack chốc lòi ra.
Still gonna let them chill and see what they can do on their own. But I think
chơi game phải có ngày này ngày kia chứ.
5-1, Talon, you're probably going to have to
pull
a timeout if you're
bay
unable to find this next round.
I mean, it's always the thing as well. How much is Frost recognizing on what they're talking about in the actual
có ngày bay,
as well,
có ngày
right?
gãy chứ các bạn.
This little language difference,
Chơi
as
một trận
long
đéo
as
là các bạn cũng
Cruz
bay.
is, maybe saying some sort of English
Anh nghĩ về đây có thể
translated to
vô địch
him
Steel One được không?
post rounds or anything
Thật
like
là anh
that.
sợ hơi lắm, anh
It
mình nghĩ
really
nó vô
is
địch
up
Steel
to
One
his
được đấy.
identification on how the team is going, how the comms are, these
Anh
sort of
phải
scenarios
thần
after a
kinh
tech
lắm, anh
pause
mình
as
nghĩ
well,
chúng nó
where
vô
you
địch
just
Steel
have
One
to
được.
stew in your own head. It's not too
Câu chuyện là anh
unoften
có lẽ
that
sẽ
you
là
don't
không.
see a pause taken in the
Thế
round
nào?
after.
Yeah. We'll see when they want to pump those brakes.
Anh không chê nhiều yếu nhá. Anh không chê Berric yếu nhá.
DRX
Bỏ
finding
vô
some
Steel One ở thời điểm hiện
stability.
tại thì cần là đấu xứng đáng.
See how things fare for Talon coming off the back of this one. Maybe this could be good though. Slow the roll.
Cứ tậu.
Just get a little bit of a breather, a little bit more opportunity to calm down. Granted, yes, cannot communicate with each other, with the coaching staff during this time about the game, but at least just give those players a moment to take a pause, take a deep breath, and say, okay, we got this.
Yeah, and of course, there's always going to be one of those veto situations as well when you come in towards this one in an elimination bracket. What are you changing up? How much practice have you had to, right? Because for Talon, they had to play yesterday. They had a not the cleanest game against Nongshim.
Những cái lần gần nhất đấu nhau thì hai đội gầy mới chỉ gặp nhau ở Tennessee Invitational đầu từ 2024 là tức là khá là lâu rồi. Còn nội trong tất cả các giải đấu của VCT Pacific thì Talon chưa một lần thắng được team DRX.
Are we going to have another Korean team go international? Are we going to have them get top, into grand final here? Are we going to get them top 3? Who knows?
Juzuki default nhưng Faker bên là không có đâu Jake ạ.
I think pretty much globally a very topsy-turvy time ahead of a Masters where a lot of these teams that you expect, especially off the back of Bangkok, to be able to qualify, to be surefire hits, barely squeezing into the tournament or just missing out completely. Obviously T1, the obvious one, given that they are that trophy lifting team, but G2 had to go in as a third seed. Vitality still going to be fighting their way to try to make it there. There's a ton of inconsistency across the board. EDG, first ever international missed since 2022 when they won the LCQ and they made it the champs.
Yeah, so it's massive shake-up. Of course, a lot of teams as well, trying to get some championship points to have a slot to get into towards champs at the end of this year.
Mỗi một dàn máy của một khu vực nó đâu phải là dàn máy giống hết nhau đâu các bạn. Cái việc mà máy nó bị lỗi cũng đâu phải là việc mà người ta mong muốn đâu đúng không? Chỉ là một sự cố thôi. Đôi khi nó còn do vấn đề gear cùng các tuyển thủ, đôi khi nó do nhiều vấn đề khác. Cái này đôi khi các bạn phải hỏi những cái người mà đang thi đấu ấy. Như kiểu anh Công Anh ấy thì sẽ có câu trả lời nó hợp lý hơn. Tôi cũng chỉ là người ở nhà thôi. Lần gần nhất mà tôi đến với cả giải thi đấu Master Bangkok ấy, tôi theo dõi thì cũng có những cái sự cố tách bao và đúng là chủ yếu là do gear của các tuyển thủ hết à. Một vài những cái vấn đề là do gear. Đây quả đẹp chưa? Nhưng mà hai thằng bên kia nó che cái lưng đi. Thằng mình tí thì bàn lỗi.
Somehow doesn't actually get any shots in. Ty managing to dodge out those bullets. Keeps himself perfectly alive and comes away with the early kill. So now into the 4v5 on the attack. DRX will start going up. Talon though getting nicely clustered together. Should be in a solid position to try to go for a flood retake.
This sort of spot as well. Would like to see Marco get that pit down on the site.
Right now is it being asked to watch.
Lúc nào Talon cũng để một người đi móc để mà thực hiện chơi retake nhá. Nên nhớ lúc nào cũng thế. Mình chẳng sao là Yumi nó bắn kìa. Đưa bao nhiêu đánh bấy nhiêu. Trận này Talon nhót là cái chắc. Dẹt deep.
Jit Boys doing well, bringing this back into a 3v3, but now the salvos fly to further delay. Push under the corner. Mako drags across, finds the headshot. The Armageddon gets sent here from Fring to further.
Talon là đội Thái các bạn ơi. Các bạn nhìn thằng Hyunmin nó bắn kiểu.
Consistency from Hyunmin at the moment. Kind of catching the Talon members on the flank with the note from Marco first. He's just going for them. They're looking the wrong way, expecting a different location peak to come on out. I'm thinking to myself, okay, we're seeing the same sort of slotting from Talon around the map. Two players over at the B site in Killer and Die. They get a kill, they pull for a gun, they have some upgrades. They're expecting that this is going to end over to the A site.
Kind
of just gets pulled apart from then. You've got the salvos online, you've got the Armageddon, we're both invested. You still hold on to the pit for the next coupler, and this is the scenario that we're talking about just before during that tech pause, right? It's not too unexpected that you'll get a pause after a tech scenario, either immediately or the round after.
Yeah, this time of the tactical variety, that's what we like to see.
Dự đoán đúng tỷ số game này 500k, đúng tỷ số game này hả?
For sure.
13-4.
I cast my mind back to yesterday as well, and we see in the beginning stages, adjustment periods from Talon. It took them 4 rounds on both maps, on both halves, to figure out what Nongshim were doing before they actually woke up and just knew what they needed to do, the awakening moment to kind of clean house. So if this is sort of the same scenario that they slot themselves in here, maybe we see them switch on, maybe we see a little bit more.
Một cái khăn thấm mồ hôi tay của các bạn mua ở đâu chẳng được. Bởi cái khăn các bạn mua một cái khăn bông thôi là được rồi. Cần gì phải là khăn thấm mồ hôi tay các thứ.
It's like the B site at the moment doesn't exist, so we're just going A and A and A.
Yeah, we should just
chốt 13-4 đấy Trung ơi. Cảm giác tự tin cái tỷ số 13-4 đấy. Nghĩa là DRX sẽ hấp Talon luôn.
You can go through the front or you can go around the other way, and that's it. I guess you can leave like kitchen in there.
Put the other side in kitchen.
Hyunmin, rare miss in this map.
Nhọt.
To not be able to find that instant
punish.
punish.
Cũng chẳng dám pick với cả thằng này.
Looks like this time DRX they might be considering the other side of the map at least for a moment.
Yeah, for a slight moment, there's always the option that they're going to be able to go back there, of course. Not seeing any push-ups through B long just yet. You'll see a Stealth drone come up from a back position too, generally a little bit more forward. So if DRX are at least keeping an eye on where those utilities are coming from, they know it's a little bit more of a backline angle from Talon here.
Talon now realizing that this is going to be a bit more heavy presence. Stealth drone previously only really spotting out the killjoy.
Cho chat lên màn hình bị vướng lắm mọi người ơi. Đang xem một kênh giải đâm ra là nếu vứt chat lên màn hình bây giờ nó sẽ bị che một cái thông tin nào đấy của các bạn. Bình thường sự giờ thì mình có thể cho chat lên được, nhưng mà trong các buổi xem như này thì nếu mà để chat lên thì nó vướng lắm.
He's just running up, but Mako's now found it. Swings the angle, and it's
13-4, mark my word. Bảo rồi, DRX giờ là bắn khác rồi. Trông giống dáng dấp nhà vô địch phết đấy. Tiếp tục phong độ này.
Very far back linger here in the spawn, gets the catch on the Jit boys. Die gonna try to flush him out with the Guardian, but loses the fight as well.
God bless you, Killer.
And what can Killer do in a 1 versus 5 department but run away with his tail between his legs? The hunt could even come onto him now.
God bless you,
with the
sir.
not looking too stellar for Talon. Get a little bit closer to your ults as Bane and, well, Australia would pick it up if he goes a-hunting.
It looks like they are going to have Australia swinging around looking for something here. Lua.
Đục phát luôn.
Tucked in, can hear these footsteps behind in the
Biết
chat.
ngay mà chúng nó sẽ đục mà.
Nearly kills him.
Nó check lại hết góc các bạn ạ, nó không bỏ góc đâu.
Sees the one side, swoops in.
Nhưng mà nó check cái kiểu chủ quan.
Mạng đầu tiên của Killer. Weapon in hand. We'll have to rebuy the
armor. Cái kiểu chủ quan quá.
DRX now 6-1.
With Death, Australia will pick up the reckoning too, but the important factor right now for DRX is they are converting after Talon's timeout, so no value, no weight or adjustments. You see in the early stages that you're mentioning, Cruz sending out the recon dart, it's spotting nothing. You've got Pretty on the pipeline. They're having confidence in him. He's going to be good for 1 or 2, maybe 4.
Thái mà anh em.
The team can have enough time afforded to get their rotations out, but he's just caught by himself. No trades. DRX selling a good little fake with the util that they put over towards the B site. And again, as I said, you know, the A site is where they were kind of always just going. It's going to be back there for the beginning stages at least right now. Same ambition line to come up from Primi. He's got Killua with him, so a bit of a different look this time in terms of the initiator force.
Flashback với STI tốt hơn sự đội hình của DRX không? Tôi nghĩ cả hai đều có một cái điểm mạnh và điểm yếu riêng. Nếu như nói ai đấy tốt hơn trong đội hình này thì không nghĩ là một ai đó sẽ tốt hẳn. kiểu mỗi người đều có một cái điểm mạnh ấy. Flashback tay của nó rất là to. Nhưng so với Estrella tôi nghĩ flashback tay của nó to hơn, nhưng bù lại thì Estrella nó còn có thêm cả một khả năng là nó côn được. Và nó có thể đưa ra sáng kiến, nó có thể côn, nó đóng góp được vào lối chơi chung của DRX. Round 2 rồi.
It does go ahead and eventually put down Mako. Just the one casualty. Talon finally find their second round win.
It feels like we were waiting for just some sort of individual performance from Talon, or maybe a proper effort by committee. This time Primi doing the lion's share of it, but the rest of the team to watch his angles as well, to just dance around the site, dance around the reckoning. Big swatting from Jit Boys, by the way, onto the right click attempt of Hyunmin. But a better look this time for Talon, as I mentioned, changing the initiator force for them, but I don't think that's really the big thing that worked out for them. They were just ready for some sort of aggression from DRX with the right numbers.
Crucially, they get rid of 2 ultimates as well. Yep. Blades committed alongside that reckoning, so it ends up being a bit more costly for DRX, despite the fact that they still have a significant lead. Yeah, hit invested over at green here for the moment.
Yeah, it kind of blocks the avenue of DRX, where you're only seeing
team
really
hồng công mạnh thì
Marco
không
go
có nhiều đâu
through
mọi người
mid.
ạ.
The rest of the team over through to A, which they're silently approaching.
Change up position here for Primi, top of screen. Swing out, Ring able to go ahead.
Anh nghĩ Talon nên thay đổi một nhân sự không anh? Talon thay rồi mà em. Trời ơi, cứ thua mà thay thì các bạn cứ thay mãi thôi, bởi vì các bạn làm sao vô địch thế giới được. Người ta là người đang cố gắng muốn giữ một cái đội hình để vô địch thế giới. Các bạn cứ cố gắng thay liên tục. Talon bây giờ thành tích của chúng nó vẫn đang đi lên như này, nhưng chúng nó đang tiến bộ mà. Cho chúng nó thêm thời gian chứ. Hở ra là mấy ông đòi phải thay đổi.
Narrowly is able to get the weapon out in time to take down Jit Boy. Swing onto the corner though. Kahlua going to be good for that. As Freeing is just fearlessly riding the rope across. He's making all the noise in the world, and now it's getting frantic. Mako spraying. Barely is able to find one, and now needs to clutch it out here from within the pit. Ty on the approach. Over the top of the bite. Mako playing it so damn cleanly.
Well, vẫn nằm ở trong top controller của server Pacific.
I mean, essentially so, right?
Dù ai nói ngả, nó nghiêng lòng tôi vẫn vững như kiềng ba chân.
Lockdown is out.
Tôi vẫn luôn đánh giá rất là cao Mako.
From the salvos and the nano just already placed on towards the spike, and at that point in
ai
time, putting everyone into the pit, the decay effect starts to come through for Talon. That's why some loose sprays in that sort of scenario work a treat, and then Mako very patient, very stone cold.
Không outplay được cái move của Mako.
And it's back to normal fashion, you would assume, for DRX right now on this map.
Just anytime Talon gain an inch, they lose a mile. 7-2 now is Orb's just going to be cycled back. Estrella already over halfway towards that next
điên luôn đấy chứ các bạn.
Yeah, it is just die at the moment over towards this B-side too, with now Primi coming over to assist, but the walls are up, blocking vision.
Damage onto Hyunmin here.
This would actually be a pretty good call for a fake right now as DRX. You've still got alert coming out from Bane, a lockdown in play available if needed. And the rest of the force actually for Talon are all around this B site.
They tap, they get some util out, and it looks like they want to rotate off of that. Mako, though, needing to re-clear into mid. Jit Boys, he's hearing footsteps. Calling for to get some extra eyes under tube. Poison Orb goes up. Mako now not going to be ready for this forward position. Estrella, though, instantaneous with the response, and now because of this preset position, Bane able to go ahead and get a deep lockdown, but the Hunter's Fury comes through, so Cruz can clear that out.
Lockdown.
Space can now be disrespected here by Talon as Primi. Through the smoke, able to find one. Bane going to be taken down.
Elbow
here for DRX. They try to close this out. Armageddon coming in over the top here from Kahlua, but they will be able to escape the blast zone.
Rick vẫn thắng 12 nữa.
Stun into the corner, drop down. Primi looking for the double, cannot make it happen. It's all on Hyunmin.
Tụt hơi nhiều đạn nha anh Estrella ơi.
But it's going to be Talon coming away with a third round victory.
Meteor nếu như nói về độ khôn thì Mako nó khôn hơn Meteor nhiều. Nhưng mà Meteor được cái làm sao? Tay to. Mako là nó di chuyển kiểu khôn lỏi luôn đấy. Nghĩa. Đấy, trong khi đó anh em mà xem kiểu Meteor ấy, thì Meteor lại khôn theo cái kiểu là logic và bắn một góc, khôn theo cái kiểu là đi theo logic ngược lại với cả mọi người. Nhưng mà mọi người nghĩ là một thằng Sentinel sẽ không thể như thế, thì Meteor nó lại nghĩ ngược lại là tại sao bố mày không thể như thế, trong khi bố mày có tay, bố mày có một cái sự logic của bố mày. Nó đứng ở những cái góc mà các bạn sẽ không expect, nhưng nó sẽ có mạng. Cái tay to và cái độ thông minh của Meteor nó kiểu đỉnh. Còn của Marco theo cái kiểu là theo tình huống. Marco biết tình huống nào mình nên xử lý như nào để cho nó hiệu quả và nó có một cái tính hợp lý cao nhất. Như các bạn thấy một thằng thông minh và một thằng khôn lỏi ấy. Đấy. Em hiểu không? Những cái thằng khôn ấy, nó người ta phải dùng cái từ khôn là các bạn hiểu rồi.
Stun connecting, but I mean, yeah, that's already the reckoning expired. Mako on the hunt, but not suspicious enough. Cruz as well in a forward spot. It's going to be Bane with a hell of a headshot. Yes, not able to find anything else either.
And that immediately turns things upside down, doesn't it, right now, from a 4 versus 3 into the favor of DRX. You've already got the site scoped out a little bit as I say that, but Marco gets Primi, and now it's all on to Jit Boys, and we're talking about the economic situation. Do you consider a save here to make sure that
người gần với Marco nhất chính là MF 2022, đúng rồi. Miss Fortune 2022 đúng không? Miss Fortune băng đảng.
It's a tough call, but it seems like they want Jit Boys to try to go for this. A couple players on the side of DRX similarly don't have that much money behind. We'll be able to find one clear the nano, but Mako back yellow. Jit Boys just having no clue whatsoever where they had scattered to. The two surviving on the side of DRX, they will get up now 8-3.
And this is where it becomes a little bit more problematic for the Talon fans out there. If anyone's on the superstitious mark, you definitely want them to be finding this next one to not get that 9-3 curse happening. Or maybe you do want that to be more in the favor of Talon, right? So DRX, we'll see how they're going to navigate this next round after having the flank, I guess maybe expected again, because Talon have been doing that a lot in this map so far. The fact that Bane is just able to mop them both up is quite stellar. Now in the last round of this half, it's back to the drawing board, it's back to the A site to begin.
Well, Primi's position going to be confirmed once again. Drops down, eating some damage, and oh, just getting shot from every which way. Put the 45, but still breathing. Damage can still be dealt here by his hand. If he dies in a forward spot, no one's picking up that Guardian.
Yeah. Savo's out with the stealth drone. It's going to dodge that one, but how many players is it going to be able to spot out?
93D nãy tôi có một cái kèo 500k nếu mà dự đoán chính xác tỷ số trận đấu. Rồi một chiếc tường vẽ che thẳng lên Crafter, che luôn cả người elbow. Tại hai này mới chỉ trả đủ ra nhưng chưa có ý định vào. Có lẽ là vẫn chờ thêm thời gian nữa bởi vì 52 giây thực ra là quá nhiều. Từ từ từng bước một rồi trên góc bắn lỗi Jit Boy cút luôn. Như vậy thì trong side Primi giỏi lắm nên cũng chỉ là 45 máu này rất là dễ để các bạn bị đổi nhá. Chắc là 2 bắn là các bạn bị đổi. Người đến cứu không chết luôn. Primi cố gắng. Đấy, các bạn mà. Máu đây rất dễ bị đổi.
And he cannot fight his way out. Mako wins those, and that's going to be a 9-3 half with DRX well out in front.
And there's not too much ingenuity from DRX, to be honest with you as well, right? It's just kind of readable plays from an outside view. Start off with a bit of this utility at A, see what you can bait out from Talon. Maybe you've got a little lurk happening from Marco up through mid or over through the B side of things, where we see, you know, majority of the time Talon investing either 1 or 2 players in Thai and Killer over there, a small exchange with Cruz here and there, but there's no real massive adaptations, no massive A pushes.
Talon đánh Garo mà, hôm nọ Talon thắng rồi thì hôm nay Talon phải thua. Đơn giản thế thôi. Có ngày thắng cũng phải có ngày thua chứ.
So it felt honestly a bit flat from Talon time and time again, where DRX aren't really changing things up too much.
Hey, it's one of our biggest fans. She's here most of the days.
Ba ngày tôi chỉ là Curse ngày xưa thôi. Giống gì nhở? Có đợt người ta bảo là 84 Curse của NA đấy. Mỗi khu vực lại khác. NA thì người ta là 84. Còn ở bên Pacific thì là 93. Mỗi khu vực nó lại có một cái tỷ số Curse nó khác nhau.
We need to get the thing that we're missing here is the voting counts to see how many votes it's got between the two things.
Yeah, this is true. 9-3 though, man. Like, this is a little bit of a problematic spot for Talon if they can't get out on their pistol round as well, right?
For sure.
Like, it's their map pick. You're going into Fracture next, which, I mean, that's still rocky anyways. But you definitely want to come away with your own map pick when you've had it open, you've gone in with the choice, and you're expecting some sort of confidence on your own defensive side, some plans on your attacking side. So we'll see if that's going to at least come out here in the pistol round. Everybody looking to go towards this B site nice and early from Talon. Everybody investing with an upgraded pistol as well.
Just a full send, steady push forward here from Talon. Recon sent out.
Ôi giời ơi, lần này Marco tham minh rồi.
Tốt. I thought it was a straight bullet. It was a straight
13-4. Tỷ số chính xác 13-4. Nó đục kìa. Đoán góc phải gọi là quá đẹp luôn. Người tiếp theo. Ôi. Nào. Không còn lại thua. Nhót thôi. Bỏ tỷ số 13-4 rồi. Đấy, ít nhất phải 13-6, 13-7. Khó, 13-4 khó rồi.
Where there's just wall-on-wall action and everyone's just trying to shoot through it and deny all action. There's spike hot potatoing between maybe 3 members of the Talon side. But at least they do manage to navigate their shots a little bit better towards the end to finish it off after the good one that we're seeing on the other receiving end of Jit Boy's one there. So pistol round collected from Talon. Not going to see too much investment here for DRX. You'll play it for what it is. Pistols, get guns in the next round.
Getting that pit online as well quickly here for Thai could be very good for the post plants.
Chán quá, anh cứ chung nha. Mất 5 nốt nhưng mà được chung cho lại 10 đô. Cứ như là mất 250. Không, YouTube nó phải ăn của mình tầm 40%. Vẫn mất gần 5 lốt.
Still though, unless they start committing to the plant, Cruz is getting into a deeper position. Tap has been heard, bite delays. Everyone from DRX here, and now the call to go ahead and swing back across towards the A site has been sounded here from the side of Talon.
Yeah, Cruz just doing what Bane was trying to do on the attacking side as well. Play the lurk roll, find the timing, see how far forward you want to go by yourself. I mean,
anh có chơi mobile không á? No.
Against the pistols as opposed to rifles.
No.
So he's just going to slot himself in nice and deep.
Mobile.
He's got himself in a fantastic spot as well. Here on the rafter with that stinger.
Anh không thích chơi hệ mobile.
Towards the screen side.
Trước này đều chơi hệ PC rồi anh em ạ.
Likely to fall, but looks like Cruz not wanting to potentially overgreed here on his position, backs away.
Đoán tỷ số chính xác khó bom mẹ.
Just weaponry retainment here for Talon.
Đoán cái gì chứ đoán tỷ số chính xác. Chịu.
Bane does have that sheriff, finds Kalua.
Có gì dễ hơn không?
Shot to the side of the head. Stun sent, not connecting. Primi still here, top of 410, now going to be spotted. Hyunmin playing off the back of that, and oh boy, now suddenly we have to pump the brakes. Ty looking for a third, finds it here in the round, but now getting overwhelmed, and Cruz, last one standing.
13-4.
Still some time here, draws out with the ghost, Frank picks up the phantom, and DRX pull off the thrifty, denying the anti-eco, and this is a Shakespearean tragedy.
It's a blunder. That's what it is, mate. That is a round that should not go DRX's way. I mean, the first shot that comes out from them, you're catching, you know, against the pistols of Jit Boys, right? But the rest of them, I mean, you're looking at a scenario where you've got a plant down, you've got some post-plant utility in the salvos, in the shock darts, but playing these forward lines, having some belated crossfires. I personally thought Thai was going to be able to just triple down there and maybe bring something back towards Talon and maybe win out the round, but no. DRX are out shooting today.
Wherefore art thou throwing? Oh boy.
Khó hiểu.
See what Jit Boys might be able to do here with the Guardian. Apart from that, just the pistols for the force of Talon here, who again creeping up towards this A side of things. Going to start to scope out the situation. Nothing off the stealth drone.
I mean, we've seen stranger things. You've got 2 sheriffs here for the side of Talon. We could just get those thrifties into thrifties, the old Gen G special.
For the high tide to fall on down. But Australia going to start things off.
Close angle, multiplayer spotted. What is that?
Ridiculous.
Tôi nghĩ là 13-4 còn nguyên Trung ơi. Có khi anh em mình hơi vội Trung ạ. Thực sự đấy.
We've gone from Shakespeare to absurdity.
Yeah.
Đôi khi anh em mình gọi là hơi vội Trung ạ.
Go ahead and find one as Hyunmin falls, but
13-4 đôi khi nó là còn nguyên.
Just seen more kills through walls without any vision on your opponents in these last few rounds than we have with actual vision.
30 seconds left.
Well, up and over the top, the spot onto Estrella, but Estrella with the better weapon. 3K here for him, 1 away from that reckoning to be online. As DRX one away from having map point.
Nào, ăn round này là xong. Ăn round này là endgame rồi. Thì một round này thôi là endgame rồi.
Maybe we have a scenario where they have to just be like Paper X of yesterday, where you wipe off map 1, you ignore it, and you look for a bit of a reverse sweep affair. Starting to get a lot closer to these ultimates as well for Talon at the moment with Tier 1 off the Viper's pit. Meanwhile, on the flip side, no ultimates online, but an operator out for Hyunmin. Quickly over towards the A side of the map.
Surprisingly, first op build we've had of this map.
Yep.
Talon just not able to really ever get into a position to comfortably bring one in when they were on the defense.
We'll see how comfortable they're going to be able to get in towards this B site and knock at the door of DRX, if at all. No one moving too far forward on the map. Again, that operator just poised over at A, and you've got Belt being looked after by Freeing 2, where Talon, without proceeding too hard towards the B site, do you put a little bit more stock in what Jitboys is going to be able to sniff out towards A, or still really just try to
khẩu Văn
bully
Tùng
this
người
B
ta mạnh
area?
ở cái điểm 30 viên, các bạn lại ném xuống 25 viên, các bạn bắt nó chơi 25 viên giống như các khẩu khác làm sao được. Mỗi súng nó có một cái điểm thú vị của nó anh em.
Always one of the valuable things of having the double wall comp on
Anh em
this
chặt
map.
con mẹ tay.
Stall ability. But there goes Jitboys.
Okay. Jitboys able to find Bane there under tube.
Chơi chặt tay khẩu Phan Tùng.
Outside kitchen.
Rồi xong. 13-4 còn nguyên.
Is Daredevil. If you can't see it, you're dead. Either way, salvos are there in reply. Comes away with that one. The op just a hair too late to try to find a catch, and now it's going to be a bit of a rough position.
Oh, they're not looking for Marco, not really.
Tham Minh.
Oh, they turn back, but he's still able to find one. 22 HP remaining.
Wow.
Marco repeats and finds the second, and Hyunmin swaps over to the Phantom. Cleans up the eye, and that is DRX now at 12-4.
Damn, man.
Assume that might be the nail in the coffin for
Damn.
this map as well. That was the real big buyout for Talon. No, they will still
I'm not gonna lie, but 13-4 is còn nguyên.
Got a couple of ults to come in towards this next round, you'd assume as well.
Chôn Talon.
I gotta say, the trade game when DRX are shooting in that one, then
từ từ nhá, để mình gửi bạn chung ở nước ngoài nó, để mình gửi bạn chung luôn cái PayPal của mình này. Gửi chung cái PayPal của mình này. Cho chung cái PayPal của mình để chung gửi vào Streamlabs hoặc là gửi vào PayPal nhá. Kèo này là ăn rồi. 13-4 ăn chắc rồi các bạn ơi. Yên tâm. Không thể nào mà mất được. Nào Esola. Hay lắm. Pin gỡ lại. Hai cái của Pin ngon lắm. Còn nguyên.
Spike planted, but Hyunmin just gets out onto the wider angle. Jitboys shut
13-4 còn nguyên.
now pulled as he's just bounding around the site. He's got Bane here, right there with him. Gets a 3K.
3v1.
And this is now
thua tí kéo là được nữa. 13-4. Nó là tỷ số chính xác.
13-4.
Còn con mẹ nguyên luôn. Đoán như thế mới là đoán chứ. Được không Trung? Trời ơi, nhìn trước tương lai trận đấu này luôn. Các bạn theo tôi rồi, các bạn có phải là toàn người giàu không? Đúng tỷ số 13-4 luôn. Gửi sẵn cho Trung cái chấm than donate. Đấy. Có Streamlabs trong đấy luôn. Trung đừng hiến máu cho mấy thằng YouTube. Đừng cho YouTube làm giàu.
The over preparation for your opponent's picks, the under preparation for your own, a lot of map trading in that regard across series between, I'd say, pretty much all of the regions.
Yeah.
This is not over until it is over, and Fracture is certainly a map where Talon can kick into gear, find their footing, and run this back. But DRX, they're going to be feeling very good about this opening map win.
For sure, I'm very interested to see if we're going to still get some Waylay action come into Fracture for Talon next as well, or if they're going to go into a bit of a different look on it, because we haven't seen, again, too much difference from DRX when it does come to that map. Some slight shake-ups on the agents, but I mean, they've had the very, very close win against RRQ, and before that, it's 4 games in a row against T1. So what differences are they looking to come out with there?
Yeah, they could change. I mean, they made the pivot here on the Icebox comp. composition, bringing that Harbor in as well. So DRX are going to be willing to make those minor adjustments where needed. They feel like it's going to get them the advantages. It did here for sure on Icebox, but we'll go ahead and send it back over to the analyst to break down all the action from map 1.
DRX take the first map of the series on Icebox, and what a way to start. As the casters mentioned, saw a little bit of disrespect happening on the stage, but DRX was definitely not flustered of anything.
Talon 9 first kill chứ không phải là ít đâu.
Entirely unfazed, a very, very dominant first map from DRX. We
saw nhìn chỉ số của Talon 9 first kill cũng là nó không phải là con số tệ một chút nào cả.
Overly dominant. I think it's when that round broke down in the mid round.
Lại còn tinh nhé luôn. Ui rồi, thành kill chung nha. Đúng ngay cái kèo 500k dự đoán chính xác tới từ vị trí của bạn Nguyễn Minh Trung. Tự nhiên buổi chiều đang ngồi xem vui vui, có bạn vào cho tiền ạ. Vui sướng ghê. Các bạn lại hỏi người 4 năm kinh nghiệm mình nhìn qua không biết bao nhiêu cái kịch bản, nhìn qua bao nhiêu cái thế rồi.
The fact that individually you're just looking at this for DRX, it's bigger, faster, stronger. You've got, I mean, I was gonna say a big three instead of a big free of freeing Hyunmin and Marco, but Bane really pulling his weight on the Senti role, and every time he's been on a Sentinel, he's pleasantly surprised me.
Yeah, it's been really nice to see. I mean, I feel like we spoke before, but there's been a little bit of role instability, right, with the changes that DRX have had to go through.
Yeah.
But so nice seeing freeing back on the Teo, and I think Bane is
actually Talon có đang là fan cùng
not controller, the Sentinel position quite well. You know, Mako on the controller.
Và Talon rơi vào cái chuỗi của họ rồi. Cái chuỗi này bắt buộc họ phải thu 2-0 rồi.
Got a little bit of an upgrade while he's getting his surgery.
Yeah, you're saying he's got a robotic appendix.
Yeah.
So we haven't got like the vibrators in the shoes or elsewhere these days. We're installing them during surgery, apparently.
That would make sense.
Okay, well, we did see some awesome part. I don't even know what that is, so I'm gonna move on.
It's a reference to chess. Okay, look, get your head out of the gutter.
I don't know what that is. Okay, it's out of the gutter, and now we're gonna talk about Harbor, because we saw some cool plays.
5 giờ có giải báo gì rồi.
Nếu
như mà bây giờ anh mình xem tiếp Peppa Pig trận 2 khả năng là đây này, xem quả Himin nó điểm danh này. Không phải là Himin, không phải là quả Himin. Xem quả Himin nó điểm danh nữa.
Yeah, it's all about sectioning off the map, right? You're able to use this wall to cut off all of this lobby space and make it hard to fight through. But equally, if you're Talon, you don't just want to give them that space for free. But if you want to come forward like this, it's hard. You're having to take isolated fights. I think DRX really understood this comp, and I equally feel like Talon have no hard flashes. Breaking through these walls becomes very difficult, right?
Absolutely.
Talon nguyên một cái con toàn thái cũng để phục vụ cho một cái đội trẻ như là Thi Killua và Primi mà.
With the dart as well as look for info in the mid round, like I said with the drone, but overall it just was not that
PCT.
Unfortunately for Talon. I think this DRX.
Anh nghĩ ai có tỷ lệ cao vô địch? PCT là cái giải gì?
Info, you can see them run the B default instead this time with the cascade up B long, but as you're seeing from a lot of teams, Morgan, they're loving hitting the A side.
Ý em là VCT á?
B barely exists in this map. We all know it. This is a one-sided map.
Champion tour.
Harbor is good, right? He does a great job. You get all of that A lobby.
Hôm nay chỉ có xem thôi anh em ạ, chẳng có chơi gì cả. Chỉ có ngồi xem thôi.
And with this composition, we saw just how great their post plants were.
Favorite champion tour.
Post plants won, but that's so easy when you have Viper, Teo, Killjoy so strong in that post plant.
Absolutely, and the other team has to push through a high tide, and then you're cycling up the Viper wall on that B side of the map most of the time. It's very difficult to retake into a lot of the time. So Harbor,
anh em mới vào cho mình xin một like nhé, thank you mọi người nhiều. Bạn nào chưa subscribe cho mình xin một subscribe thì càng tốt ạ. Cảm ơn cả nhà rất là nhiều ạ.
It's definitely the kind of comp that you should mix in because it's not a huge change to go from KO into a Harbor. Stylistically, it's huge, but one agent difference, and 4 of your players play the exact same agents, and your attacking side looks completely different. But in terms of player comfortability on an agent, it's not a huge change that you could implement into your team.
Earlier today, we touched upon Hyunmin and Primi because they're always consistently fragging, but the way these teams utilize their entry duels is a little bit different.
Yeah, they have to definitely be different. I do think they serve kind of different roles in the team, right? You know, Primi gets flack, right? Primi gets a lot of hate for being a little bit of a beta. from time to time.
I mean,
but I do think he's growing in his role.
I mean, absolutely.
Này,
I've
heal min quả này
highlighted a
này.
couple of times. Kickoff, he did not take that many opening
Đấy,
kills because
bắn
he
heal
wasn't
min
on
như
the
kiểu
duelist a lot of the
đập chuột
time.
ấy.
In
Cứ thằng nào
through
ngoi lên là
stage
nó
one,
đập.
he's taken more than double the
Cứ
amount
ngồi
of
lên là nó đập.
opening kills and opening duels. You can see he's trying to consistently play with confidence and take space over on the side of Talon. For Hyunmin though, you do see him be very consistent as well. He was getting active, didn't really need to do much opping on the defense, which is what is usually a bit of a standout for me on a Jet player, but the way that you're entering the safety of the cloud burst for the Jet, very, very good on this map.
Yeah, and I think one thing we saw from both of them
17
is on
kill,
the
8
defensive
death,
side.
2.6.
He usually
MVP vẫn là Mako,
versatility of
mặc
Jet
dù
to
trong
go
khi mình
fight
bắn
forward on A, especially against this
khá là hay.
Alpha.
Tôi
That's why
không
Jet
sợ
is
dán.
such a solid pick. But our MVP,
Dù ai nói ngả, nó nghiêng cái gì
once
tôi
again,
vẫn không sợ dán.
entirely unleashed now he's not on this IGL.
Thứ duy nhất
So
là
many
con
big
rán nó làm
multi
tôi
kills,
phát
and
khiếp
I
ấy
love
là cái
him on
mùi
this
của nó.
multi
Kills,
Nó
love the
rất là
multi
hôi.
kills.
The multi kills?
Ngoài ra thì chẳng có lý do
Okay,
gì để anh em mình sợ con rán hết trơn á.
Goes with, what do
Nó
you
đéo
call
khả
them,
năng gây hại
vibrating
mình cơ.
shoes?
Vibrating
Chuột thì
shoes,
ok, nó còn
yeah,
bệnh, những
and
thứ nó
other
còn vi
things.
khuẩn, nó
Mako
còn
though,
bẩn
I
những
mean,
cái thứ,
he's
con chuột trông nó cũng
absolutely
gớm.
come alive.
Con rán thì
You'd
bình
love to
thường,
see
nó
it.
chỉ
He
làm
is back in beast mode for DRX.
anh giờ còn chơi bóng rổ
And,
không
I mean,
á?
it's just such an
Giờ anh chỉ có chơi
iconic
bóng
thing.
thôi.
You saw one of those iconic clutches
Bóng thôi,
inside of the
không có
pit
rổ.
on Icebox A site. He is famous for completing some
Con rán
big,
nó bay
big
vào mũi,
plays
rán
in
thì nó
that
bay vào mũi
position.
các bạn.
And that's why I
Con
put
rán
him
của
on
các
my
bạn nó to
team.
như thế
You
mà
didn't
nó
put
bay
him
vào
on
mũi
your
của các
team?
bạn.
No, I thought I did.
That
I thought I
is
did, but I
very
didn't.
silly.
He's going to get minus
Mako.
5 by Jing instead.
Yep.
Yes, Mako is a must. He is an absolute
con
must.
rắn nhà các bạn to đến như thế nào mà
yeah,
có thể bay được
again,
vào mũi của các bạn
really
luôn á.
glad to see him, playing like the Mako that we know and love and just fragging out his mind. Just such a smart player. Every step of the
Positionally
way.
so good. Like, I don't even think his mechanics are that amazing. Like, he's positionally
Yes.
fantastic. He is
Chơi
a
bóng thôi.
certified phantom abuser. It inspires me at the age of 30 that I might be able to frag.
When you're watching Mako next swap, watch how many kills he gets because the enemies aren't even looking at him.
Yes.
Or the kills he gets through the smokes. This is a positional player. He's a phantom plus mouse one guy. You know, that's what he does. But he gets those kills because he's so smart.
Well, how do you think he's going to do in Fracture? Because that's the next destination for these two teams.
Yeah, he's had fantastic games on Fracture lately. He has been great on the Brimstone. DRX, I mean, this is a map that they have played quite a lot of. They've got a lot of quality reps on it. And picking it into Talon is a statement.
Chỉ đơn giản là
Talon
một
has
thằng
had so
nó
much
đang
success with this way
lấy lại
of
phong độ của nó.
this stage. Granted,
Trước
they
này nó
haven't
vẫn là một thằng bắn hay
necessarily
à?
played the best opposition. They played Secret and Nongshim, if I remember
ai
correctly,
chơi
and they
Mako
stopped both of them with this Waylay comp. DRX is saying, we don't care how successful you are with this Waylay comp. We are going to pick Fracture into you and we are going to destroy you.
So for me personally, I would like to see Primi stay with that Waylay. I thought that was the best way that we saw it used. We saw him, we saw him be able to dive into these sites, clear a lot of space, and then refract back to his team. And I felt like he understood how to use the agent very well.
Yes.
The only thing I'm worried about is if they don't change, they played in a very similar way across both of those stomping games, right? So are DRX going to have an answer to this? Are they going to be able to catch him if he overextends too far?
Đây là stream vui vẻ, thank you em nhiều
I
nhá.
think DRX has already shown a certain level of prep, even on the Icebox.
Yeah, very much
switching
so.
over to the Harbor, I think they did not expect Talon to play flashes on Icebox, and that's worked out beautifully for them. So 100% picking Fracture into Talon here, knowing that they played the Waylay comp. This is prep coming in for DRX.
But also, I have to say, Talon love being terrible in map 1. They've done this a lot. They lose map 1 so many times and end up sweeping out the series. So Talon fans, don't be too disheartened.
Anh em
And I
xem
think
mình like nhá,
Fracture
thank you mọi người
is still
nhiều.
a good map for them. So
It is.
I got to say the reverse sweep's still on the cards for me. I'm not doubting just yet.
Okay, I do want to ask you guys a bit more, but we don't really see Waylay anymore. It's been dumped by most of the teams. This is one of the few teams that makes Waylay work, that makes Waylay look good, the way Primi works with the rest of the squad here.
Yep, he's back on it. So they are going to play that Waylay comp. Talon, honestly, Primi playing the Waylay has been some of the most convincing Waylay play I've seen in VCT. And the way that Talon play on this map is fantastic, particularly their attacking sides. They've got a lot of set executes and set ideas that work an absolute treat, but they've had to show a lot of those already in the group stage. So we'll see how DRX tries to break that down and deal with that. Because you saw DRX on their defense be very good at disrupting the other team with the breach player.
Yeah, they're very fast, DRX. Hyunmin on that Neon. DRX not really making any changes either. This is the comp that we saw from them previously. Bane on that Cypher is the one to watch. He's going to be the one who needs to shut down Primi.
Well, I think we're getting
Waylay
ready to
khó
get
vận hành
started.
không anh? Waylay khó lắm em ạ, rất khó. Nó phụ thuộc vào đồng đội nhiều. Waylay cũng là một con mà chơi teamwork 5
Look, we've taken Paper Thin, he's turned 40. We've taken him about the
buộc em
back.
phải chơi teamwork 5.
See you
Em
later.
không thể chơi con
And
Waylay
we
với cả một
replace
cái
him with
team
someone
online
younger.
được.
So we'll throw it over to a
Leon thì nó còn có chạy.
Chilios.
Waylay nó bay xong rồi nó đâu được cầm súng đâu.
Thank you for doubling back.
Nếu như em mà không Không muốn theo cái kiểu à? Không muốn theo cái kiểu mà cầm con nuôi lây phi vào bên trong xong rồi thấy nguy hiểm thì em về xong rồi phế luôn toàn bộ chiêu thức của mình thì phải có đồng đội hỗ trợ cho em tận răng.
He's in Shanghai. He's doing another esport.
He's betrayed us.
Nào,
We didn't know
2-0 đi
that
nào.
those existed.
Bây giờ 2-0 là đẹp. Anh em mình ngồi nghỉ ngơi một xíu, anh em chuyển qua PUBG là bắt binh luôn. Sắp đến giờ bắn PUBG rồi anh em ạ.
He doesn't have the brain for it. But he barely has the brain for this one. Anyway, we'll stop talking about paper thin and we'll start talking about the game. As DRX looking for a bit of a trap play here on the south side. Reinforcements being called over as it's just going to be attacked behind the box. And Streya's going to be taken down. Trap sprung right back over onto DRX. Nice little setup there. Good counteraction. Talon find the opening kill.
Gotta remember though, if you want to contest with DRX on this B side, it is always Bane's territory. Keep an eye on what he's going to be doing around tower specifically. See if that's going to come into effect as well. But with the player advantage and Australia going down, so with the idea of coming back towards this A site, and that if it is the right read here for DRX, they will have 3 members that can defend.
Lynx Scream là sao á? Scream là tập luyện. Scream là cái tập luyện của các đội tuyển với nhau và trong Scream thì có một điều lệ là các bạn không được phép lick. Lick thứ nhất là tỷ số Scream, layup Scream, chiến thuật Scream hay là VOD Scream, đấy là những cái thứ không được phép lick ra.
Yeah, there was a trap wire up at the dish as well, so they did know someone was coming from there.
Mako now just going to be sat here, backside underneath, safe behind the wall. Try to cut across in towards spawn. The answer is yes, but Bane is there and he's noted it as well. Now they're flushed back in. The time is just not going to be there. 12 seconds remaining.
Các bạn lick ra thì có hóa trường các bạn nữa.
Down to the last 7. Freeing closest member. Now just goes for the delay and it is over. Plant cannot be found. Freeing will lose his life. Ty will come away with another 3K here in a pistol. Get the plant for a little bit of extra cash, but DRX will go ahead and take this opening round for themselves.
Yeah, a bit of a unfortunate one for Talon though, right? When you consider they got the opening kill, and then it's the hold in main from old mate Hyunmin as well as Freeing, trying to just dance around and get the kills. But good, just level-headedness from DRX. The right read to come back towards this A site, the right utility placed as well at the right time, getting all the info off the trap wire drop as I mentioned. Great timing on the salvos to deny things. Might have to see Talon be a little bit more decisive with time. Of course, it was a bit of a blunder over on Icebox as well when things get low. Sometimes courtesy of DRX, but secondary round
here. Rảnh để cái mức mà đi lick Scream cả anh em ạ. Không phải là giao hữu. Scream là luyện tập. Các team sẽ vào trong Scream để luyện tập và bắn Scream, người ta không bắn như kiểu bắn một trận đấu thường. Người ta sẽ bắn 24 round, đủ 24 round. Thế nên một vài trận Scream các bạn sẽ thấy tỷ số là 24 hay là một vài trận Scream các bạn sẽ tỷ số là 16-8 chẳng hạn. Có nghĩa là chúng nó không bắn chạm 13. Nó không quan, những cái Scream người ta không quan tâm đến thắng thua nữa rồi. Người ta chỉ vào người ta luyện tập thôi. Đôi khi có thể là bắn đến 13, đôi khi là chúng nó sẽ bắn full 24 round để chúng nó tập.
5 versus 3 angle for DRX, just try and hold what you can, come in towards the next.
Gọi là giao hữu thì nghe nó sai. Người ta vào người ta tập với nhau, giao hữu thì nghe hơi yếu quá.
Death or plant, we'll see which one it's going to be, but
tập bài, tập layup, thử nghiệm layup, rất là nhiều thứ. Rồi, một cái tốc độ rất nhanh của Brimi, sau đó thì Brimi quay trở lại và để người đồng đội trong sai nhảy xuống chết trước. Hết đạn rồi. Không sao, không có tốt.
And this is the situation for Talon as well, right? Coming in towards this map, maybe an expected pick to come through from DRX.
Hiểu sao Hùng vào bảo là T1 vô địch, T1 nó hiếp dâm thằng BVRX game 1, xong rồi game 2 T1 ngửa mẹ luôn. Nó hiểu sao ạ?
For this map, a lot of very close ones going, 13-11, some overtimes. It's not been the most confident map for them. But for Talon, the installments that we've seen with the Waylay at least, some pretty decisive results, despite Primi, not having the greatest showing in one of them, but still getting the job done.
Hyunmin is just rushing forward here. Still throwing the check onto the opposite side. Salvos set and ready for Cruz. But here comes the push. He's just stuck on the iPad. Does get taken down, and DRX likely going to be more than satisfied with that pick. They go backpedaling, riding the rope now. Is Jit Boys, Bane with that stinger. go ahead and find a kill. Kaluma pushing up in towards A main though, able to find Estrella here in halls. Real solid opening they have for the moment. Freeing just where it goes to try to hold the door.
Tua nốt cái bonus round các bạn ạ.
Looks to reposition. Oh, dash forward.
Về luôn. Những thằng đi sau là những thằng
It's a
khổ.
little jump back, but still able to trade for another. Kalua now on the floor. The Molly here.
Thằng đi đầu ấy, thằng đi sau khổ. Ui rồi góc Humin nó Biter đẹp vãi đái luôn. Humin chỉ cần làm một là thắng.
Yamin slipped into the right spot though.
And he absolutely has. Primi still doing well to find the kill. Smoke dissipating, put some damage down, but exchanged back.
Đéo ai rảnh thì bắn nhau với thằng này làm gì.
Now arriving with a weapon
Người ta tôn trọng thằng Primi vãi đái.
Chú
em mưa gió làm nồi lẩu rồi cơ quạt là hợp lý. Hợp lý luôn. Ngoài Hà Nội thì hơi tí nắng lên rồi.
Second one for him, and a bonus converted. 3-0 start here for DRX.
I love the push through from DRX at the trade position as well. We saw a very nice ace from Buzz yesterday on the Neon, just really dipping and diving around with the lightning fingers as well. So I do always like to see a great little Neon play to come on out. Talon, though, in this round, not able to bring any stability, not able to get on top of the trades. Again, a lot of great timing of utility components from DRX around the map, too. Never going to be able to contend with Bane in tower. Feels like the orbital strike, if you want to try and find him, is going to have to be the investment to remove him from that spot. But in a pistol round such as this for Talon, probably not going to see that utilized unless there's already an advantage or a post-plant scenario, potentially.
Tie already here at the start of the round. Down to 14.
Smoke's down.
There's Mako getting the spot out, swings.
Không phải dễ 2-0, nó là 2-0, sao lại dễ? Nó là 2-0 nữa.
Mako just coming away with another.
Chẳng có gì dễ không? Nó là 2-0.
Tag down is going to be the last one alive here for Talon as DRX look to go 4-0 in flawless fashion. Gentleman just steadily swinging forward.
Min dùng flashback đó.
He gets it done for a second. I believe maybe it wasn't going to be a flawless first shot sailing right over his head, but is able to go ahead and get the readjust.
And again, like I highlighted a bit earlier, right? 4-0 was the time for Talon that they needed to recognize what's happening on things, right? To call something, call a timeout potentially, and start to get back in the map. Highlighted very effectively on Ascent yesterday for them. So we'll see if that might be ringing true again here. Otherwise, from what we saw on Icebox, I mean, things will maybe go one back in their way, and then it just looks
các bạn có đang mưa.
Right? So
ngoài Hà Nội giờ đang tôi tưởng là sắp mưa rồi nhưng hóa ra chưa đến mưa.
Just look a little bit more decisive.
Tưởng là sắp cơn mưa rồi đấy chứ.
Adjustment from DRX, pushing up towards the north side.
Stealth drone not getting the spot out here. Mako just tucked in behind the boxes. Tripwire spotted, cleared. It's just going to be a backpedal as Armageddon does get sent. That's from Freeing. Expecting that there was still going to be some pressure coming through from that arcade side, but as you can tell, Talon, no one was there to receive that damage.
And Marco's just used the incendiary by the way as well, so that was some more stalling power that DRX had up their sleeve for the tree choke point, but now sub 1 minute will tick on over, and Talon's going to pivot towards this A site. We're going to see what the two members around B may be able to trickle on and find, but yeah,
there's some attention over here. 3 players now on the rotate, reinforcing that A site here from DRX. The exec getting ready to come through. As stun, connecting Bane, just backpedaling orbital strike, trying to flush it back into the spawn, but Mako still going to get caught. Bane still stunned up now, out into the open, ends up falling 1 by 1. Talon will pick them apart as Cruz is able to find a little bit more. 3K for him, as he will now have his own Armageddon online, and Talon will get themselves on the board. You mentioned it, that 0-4 start.
Yeah,
could be true again.
Talked about decisiveness, right? That's something that we need to see from Talon there. It looks like they got a just better crosshair placement in that round, at least. The orbital strike, not the position that I thought that they would do it, but when you're combining that with a fault line, it's always going to work. A tree.
Chả cần một ngày Marco bắn VCL, chỉ đơn giản là vào một ngày mà Talon nó ở chuỗi caro thua của mình thì nó phải thua thôi. Có xem PUBG không xem bao pick anh em à? Hứa với các bạn là mình sẽ xem PUBG rồi anh em ơi, không xem bao pick đâu.
Bringing out the operator, gonna see no one home in the position that he is placing that out, but at least confirmed in the map now with the destruction of the camera.
Stealth drone to hunt. Maybe at least one spot into the Chit Boys. At the ready, finds the headshot. Hyunmin knocked out of the park.
Bắt đầu tìm lại được cái chuỗi rồi đấy.
Shot, operator now lost. And Cruise with the Armageddon.
Anh ơi, nếu một người thích Biter và support skill attack cho đồng đội thì nên chơi role với Asian nào? Biter lại support team là thế nào? Ý là em muốn đi đằng sau đúng không? Nghĩa là em thích việc đi đằng sau. Khí những thằng đi đằng trước. Thế chưa có Sova. Nhưng mà Sova không thì chấp nhận là trong trường hợp là đồng đội vào trước bắn cung xong ở sau đuổi mạng. Câu hỏi này em nên hỏi anh Leo. Con nào chả Biter mà chả thí team được? Con nào của anh Leo cũng Biter và cũng support skill attack cho team được hết.
Just kind of needs to hit the shot and he's able to do so. Ultimate now online.
Oh, but the push up from Cruz. Maybe unexpected for Bane here.
Find the timing though, Primi. Plant is done. Here behind the box, and oh yeah, he knows exactly where this is, and he's ushered him straight into Cruz's open arms. Nicely done here from the side of Talon. Get themselves a second round win.
Yeah, great spotting from Primi as well in just recognizing in the middle of the round what he
used to do. 10 giờ 11 giờ anh Leo livestream có hỏi anh Leo câu đấy là đẹp.
Being the distractor, unfortunate for DRX the opening scenario too, an operator on that sort of line you usually like to see or
Master con Teho, mặc dù con đây chẳng có cái gì cả, nhưng mà Master đây ý là bao gồm khoản tham minh và thời gian sử dụng các utility của nó hợp lý.
Teams adjust really well, but it kind of, you know, opened up on that B side by Primi and it's closed by Primi as well. Convergent pass, I mean, a bit of an expensive ultimate to be thrown in, but you do.
Anh ơi, không đủ tiền mua phiếu hút tinh thì mua con gì ngon bằng anh ơi. Đã không đủ tiền mua hút tinh thì đừng tìm mua con nào ngon bằng. Nếu như mà có con nào ngon bằng hút tinh mà lại còn rẻ hơn hút tinh thì người ta đã đéo mua hút tinh nữa rồi đúng không em? Em hiểu như thế cho nó nhanh. Nhá. Mình có thể sử dụng một vài những con khác chất lượng nó tệ hơn một chút. Ngon bằng thì gần như là không có đâu em ạ.
Aware of how streaky this team can be when they start getting that
read,
having an understanding of your tendencies.
Yep.
So wants to try to throw a spanner into the works here.
Ví dụ con ATK RS6, con đấy là một con ngon trong tầm 3 triệu. Nhá, ATK RS6. Win trận này đi Toronto chưa thầy á? Win trận này các bạn vẫn còn một trận có cái pick ở phía dưới mà. Anh em vẫn đang ở cái lower round 2 thôi mà. Lower round 2 thì làm sao mà đã đi được Toronto? Các bạn phải đến lower final. Thắng thêm trận nữa lower final thì mới đi Toronto được. Đây chỉ là round 2 thôi.
Scott is fully blinded up.
But you
just has to get out of there.
You do kind of waste the ultimate though if Hyunmin hit.
Yeah, that is very true. The overdrive did get popped in response, and we'll just be waited out. So Talon just more than happy to stay tucked here, outside of halls.
Yeah, big reset on towards the round essentially for DRX, where you're investing that ult as the kind of instigator to gaining advantages, getting kills, siphoning weapons.
Rolling Thunder going to be sent astray his way. Does get the hit, fast lane in response to stop the really aggressive scaling up through main.
I'm wondering what Jitboys is going to be able to do on this lurk, by the way, too. Bane still, of course, in the tower with 2 trap wires positioned to the arcade side of things.
On both sides, Cruz though now getting in position for this flank, or maybe even just a pivot call to shift back across to A if he can clear it out.
Nó bớt một chùm vào đầu từ Jitboy luôn mà. Jitboy bỏ người đẹp ấy. Đẹp thế, bỏ thằng đầu tiên thì gặp mẹ thằng thứ hai.
Finds the kill in the meantime though. The rest of Talon working their way across to A, getting ready for the plant.
Yeah, an open site, and remember it is a lesser buy for DRX here too. So planning for main.
They have a Bucky on Bane. He's now rotating around and about to make contact here, you know, against Thai, and I don't think he's going to be able to find too much value there. Thai just going to stay tucked. Drift across.
Oh, you say that.
Never mind.
Đấy, tôi bảo mà. Nhưng mà chỉ bị thua một round eco mà.
Right as rain. Thai take it down. Weapon now recovered. Either way, decent damage being dealt here from the side of DRX. They're looking for another thrifty. Cruz from this defender's side, able to find one. Estrella comes away with another. Now a 2-1, and they know Cruz's position. The salvos have to be baited out. It's going to be a hold the half Estrella, giving his life. Trying to make this clutchable here for Mako. Just needs to never really find it. And now will not be able to do so. The back away, Cruz hits out. It's a Red Bull clutch as Talon will go ahead and pick up a third, not allowing for that thrifty to come through.
One of the more awkward clutches to come on out in that scenario with both players where missing all their ammunition and having a couple of reload. Yeah, you're always going to give a bit of a valiant attempt to sticking it through the salvos there to try and get it halved to give Marco an opportunity in that sort of situation. But damage really done by Cruz, by Primi, bring some sort of stability and then allow Cruz to come out with a clutch at the end by default.
Get a little bit silly.
But now Talon knocking on the door of DRX, 3 in a row. Full gun rounds to be presented. Operator back in the hands of Hyunmin, though not going to be seeing too much for the time being over at Dish.
Spray across the Bane, just anticipating this. Goes through the smoke, tries to really disguise Mako's position. And he finds even more. Kalua's now down to 4.
Yeah, that's rough.
Jit Boys in the same time does get scaled forward over towards drop. Call to pivot, not been sounded quite just yet.
He is essentially just going to be sitting here, waiting to see if the team is eventually going to make their way through main. See if anyone is going to be presenting him with a duel, which Hyunmin, just aware of the situation. And things go bad to worse for Talon in this one. Killua, 4 HP, courtesy of the spray earlier. And just ultimately a 5 versus 3, where you've got a rolling thunder on a Slayer.
Hôm nay anh em nói gì thì nói mà cô bắn một ngày hôm nay bắn vẫn kinh mà anh em. Qua nãy giờ thì trận 2 rồi, nó đến câu chuyện khác thôi. Chớ thì ai chả chớ. Thi thoảng làm tí chớ thì mới là vận động viên. Các bạn là con người thì các bạn phải biết trượt. Chỉ khi các bạn là con quỷ thì các bạn không trượt được thôi.
On main, aftershock at the ready for the pinch from Arcade in towards the
side. Trượt hết trơn đấy.
Talon, gonna be okay, gonna be happy.
Yeah.
That they've gotten this out. They've already made the sound to call.
10 seconds left.
DRX not realizing that, wanting to ensure the round victory. Send out the rolling thunder. Talon just kind of get that ult out for free. DRX, they win the round, yes. But now that's one critical retake tool that they don't have to worry about.
Yeah, not for a while, of course. You may see that be picked up again for Australia in this first half here, but this means that you could potentially see something a little bit quicker for Talon now come to these next sort of rounds. Get really early on a, quote-unquote lesser defended site when you consider how DRX have been playing. No 4-1 stacks, no complete stacks. So we will wait and see. I mean, I'm noting the positions just currently while we've got this one of what Talon are looking to set up. And by location, it actually does give me the vibe of them wanting to try and get into this A site real rapid.
Yeah, completely off on the opposite side, peeking out towards tree. They're not rushing their way in quite just yet, but applying steady pressure here from both sides. Drone cleared out, freeing. Potentially going to be in a bit of a bad spot here as Tripwire gets sent. Fault line's going to be exchanged, and yep, the pinch comes in. Free going to be taken down. Headshot found there by a straight. That killed Mako now dead. And this quick hit here from Talon works a treat.
Yeah, a bit more silent in the very beginning of it, allowing the util in A main to bring attention to the forces of Talon. But apart from that, quick in towards the site. Quick plant goes down. 5 versus 2. Save call forced for DRX.
Map 3 thì khả năng là không thể đâu.
I mean, you look at the credits of Talon, it's not the worst thing to try and remove the operator, for example.
Tôi cũng nghĩ thì map 3 thì theo được.
Well, they know where it is.
But can they get
Question is, do you want to take your chances? They've got enough money pretty much to last out the remainder of the half here, barring just heavy buys and catastrophe.
Yeah.
But yeah, Talon will be in a good enough spot, so could go for it. But if Primi's not going to be able to find it, they're more than happy to not give over any additional kills here. So Talon, clawing their way back into this one, will find a 4th round win. DRX still set here at 5. Money to purchase, but it's that echoes of that rolling thunder coming back to bite them in the previous round here.
Yeah, potentially so. You maybe see that one positioned onto the side itself or over towards Dish from Australia in that sort of situation. It's hitting 3 members and that's stopping any aggression towards the site. So that's the different sort of position that they seat themselves in using it in the previous round. But for the new one, of course, one away from Convergent Pass as Primi, should be a given that he's going to be picking that one up. So you might again see something a little bit more fast-paced from Talon towards this B site.
Theo sắp bị nerf thì còn ai còn chỗ đứng nữa không thấy? Còn chứ em. Một con bị nerf là cơ hội để một con khác đi lên mà.
Again, off over at Arcade, not in a spot.
Naiso thực ra thì như thế nào thì nó cũng chỉ giống như con Reyna thôi. Tất nhiên là cái tính chiến lược và cái tính phối hợp của Naiso nó sẽ cao hơn một chút bởi vì những cái utility của nó còn khả năng hỗ trợ đồng đội được. Con Reyna thì nó chỉ có một quả flash để hỗ trợ đồng đội thôi và lại chơi nó khá lích kỷ.
It's going to be an exchange here on the side itself. Primi ignoring it. lingers in spawn, and Mako not prepared at all. DRX now in a tough position again, where they might have to consider a save if they can try to get out to a better position. So Hyunmin just sending out another pod shot, rotates back, grabs a Vandal, wants to try to play this one out.
Has to find Cruz first.
Here on the close angle, the fast lane is available, and he's gonna almost get timinged. Seems like now that he knows where he's at, he might want to try to play this, but it's been a reposition. But Thai, he creeps up over towards the side, so the call to save the operator will be made. They need Hyunmin's credits to try to spread out some more firepower here across the rest of the team. Talon now going to be tying things up at 5-5.
Yeah, a couple of different options for Talon in a scenario like that one, where you've got Primi one away from the ultimate. You could pick it up, use it onto the site, slow your opponents and try and get in that way, or
không ai dùng Kurami ngày xưa dùng nhiều rồi các bạn ơi. Tuyển thủ bây giờ người ta dùng chán chê các khẩu súng của người ta dùng theo cảm giác thôi, chứ bây giờ nó chẳng còn gọi là hướng dẫn cái thứ gì nữa rồi, chẳng còn là trending gì nữa rồi. Người ta dùng quá nhiều những dòng Kurami rồi thì bây giờ người ta đổi sang dòng khác là chuyện bình thường mà anh em.
Battle heavy rounds as well that they can weather should give a lot of these players some good confidence
Chán
coming
cái này
into
thì
the
gọi là
last
cho
few
súng khác.
rounds of this half on the attacking side too. Now tying
Ngang
things up
lai.
a piece, almost breaking the economy of DRX. You'd need to see some heroics
Ai
from
mặc nọ
Hyunmin
lái
or
lai.
from Rain, who do have the heavy weapons. Speaking of,
Forward to be played out here in the half. And yeah, Hyunmin coming away with value right off the rip. There's Estrella peeking in towards Halls, getting the spot out.
Giờ quan trọng gì, dùng đẹp là
Be
được.
some stuns exchanged here. Actually, no,
bạn
that
thấy
was
đẹp
just
là
Cruz getting
ok.
stunned by Kahlua.
Cái khác có hay không? Không quan trọng.
still, Talon creeping up to the entryway of this A site.
Just waiting the
Nó
strike.
cảm giác sấy nó ngon mà.
Dashes.
Tôi thấy con khẩu Kuro là một trong những khẩu cảm giác sấy nó rất là ổn định.
In first. The answer's going to be no. Goes up and over the top of Estrella,
shit.
though. Stunned up there on top of the salvos. Ends up getting taken
Một
down.
lửa deny đặt bom.
Free
Nhưng mà vẫn
within
có
the
bom kín
smoke.
được.
Just that sheriff. His plant gets ready to come through in the corner. Primi now just continuing to hold on to the weapon to try to deny any kind of retake. Chuck of the stem, trying to open the door. Glimpse is found, but shot does not connect. All players from Talon now contained here within the site, but DRX needs to still try to find some way to flush them out of this. Good shot. The first one falls. Solid headshot into a follow-up. Thai ripping them to pieces, looking for the third Bane.
Đang bảo thi trận này dính thế thì nhóc luôn mà.
Sure why I thought it was Bane. And then it's going to be just freeing, sliding away with a Vandal in hand. Op will be left on the floor. Ult's going to be retained and obtained here from the side of Talon going into this final round of the half, as they will get themselves up to 6. So tied at
đang tổ chức
worst in the lead
offline ở
at
Viking
best.
nhỉ? Ừ, 500 đang offline ở Viking anh em nhỉ?
Salvos to buy some time for the team when the plant started to go.
He's read it so well.
He disconnected to get the gun up at Dish, but then had no value for the remainder of the round, essentially trying to save the gun at the end. They're trying to, as he does ultimately fall. You also see Cruz trying to pick up the ulti orb when the door gets opened, an opportunity maybe in that spot for DRX to start to come back, but again, just some level-headedness from the rookies at the moment.
Nghe tiếng của mấy cái khẩu champion với cả Vandal hoặc Phantom này mà khi các bạn có cái Q-Wap ấy, nghe nó rất là hay, nghe nó rất là phê.
And now last round of the half, you've got some stellar ultimates to be able to utilize for Talon.
No off here for the side of DRX, but Jitboys has one in his own hands. He's looking, waiting
Mako đã
over
có
there.
chiêu cuối rồi, 6 đều.
See if anyone's gonna come pushing forward in towards him.
Một báo laser công kích không?
Very aggressive line, slides over into the corner, but Kahlua able to find the shot.
Open up the sky luôn mà. Open up sky Mako đi đâu rồi?
Orbital sent there as well from
Mimi
Mako.
vẫn còn chiêu cuối này. Bao nhiêu tiền để xem Lynx bắn Waylay á, khó đấy.
Tip the spear, cut off. All's gonna be sent.
Ui,
Mako just having to send out the volley to try to peel off some of this pressure.
Nhảy cũng chậm luôn.
Wrapping around.
Still definitely trying to go towards this site though, aren't they? They can put a pause on it at the beginning here, see if Jitboys can get anything when that smoke starts to fade. Same can be said for Mako.
Mako không lòi này.
Vẫn
ăn được Primi mà.
Rồi,
bây giờ các bạn có off cho fit đi chăng nữa trong side các bạn có người cover. Ui, bắn lỗi thôi, sau một Jitboy bắn lỗi, ăn nguyên một cái stun. Trong side khả năng dính báo laser công kích thì sẽ chết. Freeing chấp nhận chết vào tay địch còn hơn. Ok. Thì cover tốt.
will get the round win for Talon, 7-5 in the lead at the half.
Yeah, really great recovery from Talon after those first four rounds.
Bắn quay lên 2 trận là quá đủ.
That's kind of the be-all thing for Talon at the moment. Most recently, it's very shaky in the beginning of a map if they aren't out at the.
Còn đấy chơi rank phải có đồng đội hỗ trợ cơ. Thứ mà mình không có khi mà mình chơi rank.
They have to have a little bit of time to recognize how their opponents are playing, what they need to do to come on back, and they have actually been getting a lot better at doing that in the recent times. So it's really good to see for the depth of this series when you consider that it is an elimination game for these teams here, that they're not just bowing out really easily.
Solid run back here. 7-5, starting on the attack. Let's see now how the defense is
Immortal
going to
với Radiant khác nhau như thế nào vậy thầy? Em đã lên được trình Immortal chưa?
What does that mean? It's the best right hand.
Humin hay là Primi à?
Best
Người Hàn họ chọn
Yeah,
Humin,
why not
chẳng lẽ
just say
chọn
it was the best
Primi?
name?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because even in Korean, it does say like just right hand.
Yeah. I mean, if it said right-hand man.
Bạn nào giờ
like,
đặt
who's
gì đây?
yeah,
Full
what a
Rage
for
Mod.
them.
Tell me in Full Rage Mod. Tell me with a big smile.
Quickly got that one ready, didn't we?
Tell me with a big smile or turn me in full rage mode. I think that they both have
Em này.
have their promises. That's the photo from today.
Yeah,
sure.
That's what I'm saying. They're just like slot
Em
that
này.
in. Find a way to work that into the broadcast. Do it now. Well, right now he's neither smiling nor in full rage mode.
Yeah, I feel like he's a lovable like bear, right? He can go angry mode if needed, but he can always be a bit huggable at times.
I mean, I think, you know, and I've said this before, he's had
Nào,
a
quay trở lại bạn Gamer God, bạn hỏi Immortal với cả Radiant khác nhau như thế nào thì cho mình hỏi là bạn đã lên Immortal chưa? Bạn nào lên Immortal rồi thì các bạn sẽ tự hiểu là tại sao chúng nó lại khác nhau. Còn bạn nào mà chưa lên Immortal thì đừng có quan tâm làm gì vội.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic way
Nghiêm túc vậy.
to kind of approach that, because I think most people would be like,
Bạn nào mà đã có cơ hội được lên trên Immortal rồi thì các bạn sẽ nhận thấy là sự khác biệt giữa hai cái rank nó như thế nào. Bạn nào mà chưa từng lên ấy, đừng quan tâm. Đừng có quan tâm làm gì cả. Các bạn ở rank bạc, rank bạch kim, rank vàng, rank Ascendant, thậm chí Ascendant đã hiểu rồi. Các bạn ở kim cương trở xuống, các bạn quan tâm ở rank trên đấy làm cái gì? Các bạn lên đấy làm sao được bây giờ? Cần thời gian để anh em lên. Khi anh em lên dần thì anh em sẽ nhận thấy là sự khác biệt của nó là gì. Ui, tôi Humin ăn quả stun nó vẫn đấm được cả Killua cả Khu vào.
He's worked down the 10 HP. Chit Boys will finally bring an end here to this Neon. But a havoc has been wrought. Push out of the smoke here from Mako. A double take from Chit Boys. Turning his pressure right in front of him. Down the 10. Gets the cam. Trying to hit the shot, Mako. Tucking back into main, but now the wraparound comes through. Premi arriving over at drop. The swing out, and Primi's there on the cross angle. Talon will pick up the pistol. 2-2 in that regard, and now up by 3.
Well, you talk about Bane being able to lock down B generally on this map.
Em hỏi thế là không có Trình á. Thì em nghe bài Trình của Hiếu đi. Trình là gì mà dình anh tắm? Huy bảo thế. Huy bảo thế, không phải tôi bảo. Hai bên trao đổi stun. Map 3 là không xem được đâu nha. Nhanh lên, 5 giờ đến nơi rồi, chuẩn bị qua xe PUBG rồi. Chỉ gọi bản tin thứ 2 kìa.
Again, going back towards Talon, only picking up the second in both of these maps.
You have to suspect Mako was likely getting the read that it was going to be Premi rotating through that defender spawn as well. As, well, meanwhile, just a peek in towards main.
Hỏi để biết thôi à.
Premi has the better right hand there.
In this case, yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just pistols for DRX though.
Thực ra các bạn có nghiện game các bạn cũng không lên được trên đấy. Nếu như mà ai nghiện game mà cũng lên được trên Radiant thì game nó lại dễ quá. Wow. Ai mà cũng nghiện game thì cũng đều lên được trên đấy hết.
Or maybe Jit Boys can
steal
it back. Yep.
Only these two players get ult charge, nobody else.
I mean, I wouldn't actually mind it when you think about the defensive side for a Cypher ult here going into a bonus.
Vào đây.
You can definitely see that picked up pretty easily.
Vào đây.
He's got crept up here.
Oh, he's got a
Premi. The sewer. He's got the angle at the ready.
Góc này là off angle. Làm sao mà các bạn check được cái góc của Premi?
And there you go. Predator ace found is Premi. Looking electric here on this way lane. 9-5 now. Talon well out in front as we go into their bonus.
Yeah, very sharp shots to come out from him when the scope is there. The hipfire ones, though, they're looking a little bit awkward for the one against...
He got the flick kill.
Yeah,
Sao mà đoán được cái góc này?
The easier ones, no. But no, nevertheless,
những cái thằng chơi hay chưa chắc đã là thằng chơi nhiều. Nhưng mà chắc chắn những thằng chơi nhiều chưa chắc đã chơi hay. Đấy là cốt mới của 2025 rồi.
How much do they realize about this judge? The DRX themselves have been bringing shotguns forward into tower. As frantically looking for some.
Có chứ thằng ơi, tí Xem nhá thằng ơi.
Unable to find anything with the Guardian. Bane just pushes forward. Shipboy's going to be taken down. Sight now opened up as Kahlua just strafes in. I believe Estrella blind, maybe blind shot, is able to go ahead and find that kill. Full position. Freeing. His shot's just dancing around his head, but he's got his sights.
Những người chơi hay chưa chắc đã chơi nhiều. Nhưng những người chơi nhiều chưa chắc đã chơi hay.
It's still just the bonus here for Talon. Dropping this round, still will have them up by 3. Decently cozy position.
Okay chưa?
Primi, kill or death, will have that ult online.
Nói như nói mà các bạn.
See if he's going to be able to find anything. Otherwise, it's looking like a flawless here for the side of DRX. Backpedal, getting away here from the angles. Creating even more distance. So
Nhót.
Yeah, it seems like Primi not quite going to be able to get it done. And rushing forward. And overall, nothing going to be spotted. Some noise made, and Estrella will just swing out. Says, "Yeah, I would like to get my Rolling Thunder."
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and hand the ult over to the Waylay.
Yeah, there was always a chance there as well. I was thinking to myself, well, let's just let him live and not get it, right? Very real possibility for that one, but nevertheless, a very quick one into the B site for DRX. I saw on the radar as well, every single member of Talon that was over at the A site immediately booked it over there too, so not being... Well, not having any focus on a potential flank to come on through too. Early time out here after dropping the bonus round. So Talon.
Đúng như tôi mới nói.
Looking for a bit of an idea.
Những người hay nói chưa chắc là những người nói đúng. Đó. Nhưng những người nói đúng chắc chắn là những người hay nói.
But I think it's also very similar stories for both of these teams when it comes down to just getting that momentum going, getting that streak built up. I mean, we saw it from DRX on Icebox. Give them that tiny bit of space, they will be able to take a mile, start running away with a map. So even up by 3, one away from double digits, Talon not feeling super comfortable quite just yet.
Now, if they're able to get their first gun round on the board, and you know, either doing it with a play with the Waylay ult, or if they're doing it just together as a team and making sure the fundamental utils that they can repeat a lot of the time happen, it would be good. We've got an operator out for Primi, however, though here, so expect a refract challenge potentially. Having everyone spread around the map, though, quite largely for Talon in this one. Hyunmin already very far forward in towards A main, team in tow.
Shot sent out there as well, nearly finding fishing shot over on towards Shipboys, but it's going to be Kahlua instead taken down as a straight.
Một cái lồng của tham minh đẹp, Shipboy sẽ sinh tồn ở trong đấy.
Primi repositioning, shifts over, gets over towards drop, but now is alone. I'm trying to hold this side, finds the first hit. Freeing going to be taken down, but this plant still going to be coming through. His crews noted on the flank, but do they know that Thai is also on the approach here from the angle? I'm going to be cleared out. Only Bane spotted thus far. Mako just around the corner.
Một quả stun vào khu vực Sen. Lại tầm map rồi, Bị bay này.
Mako though peeking in the door, able to find one. Bane going to be taken down. Pretty fine. The up shot now.
Mako phải vội rồi.
And Estrella needing to try to fight their way out of this one. The ladder has fallen.
Nó giạt luôn.
The fuse being held to half the swing in. Mako with a 4K. Get DRX that round win. 2 in a row picked up here in the half for them. Some decent damage dealt from the hands of Talon, but a couple players on their side. Cash is in a wobbly spot.
Yeah, the immediate A presence from DRX there actually had crews go for the flank through tree pretty quickly. He destroyed the trap wire really early on, forcing out a second one from Bane too, but didn't really hang around too much to watch for the flank, because the idea for Talon there is to wait and see what Primi's going to be able to spot first before having to put in the ultimate towards the site to allow his team to get into holes. I just feel like it was left a little bit too late for Talon in that sort of scenario, and this is the spot where DRX can look to bring some stability on their attacking side.
Really heavy stack.
T1 còn cửa đi Master không anh nhỉ? Còn em ơi. Master sau.
Can't get in though behind it.
Yeah, just gonna be held back. They spray through and widely, nothing is gained.
All 10 members on this alpha site.
No lurks, no lingers, no flanks.
Here.
Just Ty about to push up here and instantly die. A solid headshot there from Bane. As now it starts falling apart a little bit here for Talon on the thrifty attempt.
Yeah.
For the start, it was looking very possible. It was Jiggle Peek, Molly going to be sent. Cruz just swinging out, trying to strafe over the top of that one with a shorty in hand, but it's only going to be minor damage found. As DRX looking for a flawless. Primi is going to go backpedaling and sprinting across the rope.
There is a trap there that he would have to destroy.
Otherwise, one trap goes to the other.
Otherwise, he's just going to have to wait for a potential exit here, because he does need to meet his demise in this round.
Just gonna see if he can get any kind of catch here.
If Hyunmin did get the kill, he would have the ult online too.
Catch up plenty. I think you'd rather give this over to Freeing.
Trời ơi, 98. Chắc là không có map 3 đâu nhỉ?
Here for the side of TRX, one away from tying things up now.
Yeah, good
Go back into another buy.
Good dismantling on that side as well. When it doesn't really matter what weaponry that Talon do have, right? The presence of 5, though, you can still come out with something a little bit shaky, something a little bit worrisome at times. So I don't mind the investment of all the ults and the Rolling Thunder in the very beginning, although it not really finding too much value, which has kind of been every instance on this map so far from Australia.
Yeah, I said it twice.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, both I think understandable.
But
in the hindsight, you're like,
yeah.
Not much value is found.
Something for them to go back towards in review potentially. And
Molly towards tower. Hyunmin sprinting in, trying to find a catch. Jit Boys, does he get caught by that?
Trời ơi, mấy cái thằng DRX nó xấy smoke kìa.
Jit Boys, however, on the jump, still going to be good for one, but Freeing quickly trades it back.
Thì phải good.
Operator for Primi here as well. Definitely needs a line of sight.
Freeing with the plan gives him the Armageddon now.
And also no
Xấy
smoke.
như xấy.
Die was down first. It makes this retake a little bit more difficult.
Do they toggle the camera at all? Bane does. Does he spot him? I don't think it did. Freeing has no idea. Right there into the elbow, and he's going to be kicking Bane. And how did you not see him?
Just remember, orbital strike for Marco here.
Biết the crew rồi nha. Bây giờ vấn đề là đặt tâm bắn. Ui rồi còn chưa cả light up nữa thì chịu.
There's a stun, orbital, not
ông nào ăn quả stun thì chắc chắn là chết. Sao?
Ôi
ôi, mẹ DRX nó bắn kìa.
Are damn clean. It's another team ace, this time far from flawless. But DRX, they have successfully tied it up at 9-9, running back 4 rounds in a row.
Yeah, ever since the bonus round that they're able to get here, so the operator of Primi, whilst trying to find some damage, trying to find some kills, not able to work with the team, getting things done by himself. I want to see some sort of team play come through in the early scenario here, because whilst you're always going to understand that it's a difficult retake to come on out, right, for Talon in that sort of scenario, there's a couple of spots where Dai gets caught out really early on in the piece. He's not in the right position to play counter to anything fast like Hyunmin.
Trận này 2-0 xong nó tầm 40 gì đấy. À đâu tầm 50. 50 thì off một cái luồng stream này nhá. Anh em sẽ off cái luồng stream này, anh em tạo một cái luồng stream mới để chỉ phục vụ cho con PUBG không thôi. Mình sẽ thay cả banner các thứ luôn để cho nó đảm bảo là đúng cái đối tượng được xem.
Peeking in, dead. Mako finding the kill, the Armageddon just rolling out that red carpet here to shove them back. Cruz is going to look to fill the space here, chasing the explosions. And then on the peak is able to find one. Now, answering Armageddon, keeps him locked in position. Bane finds the headshot, gets a near depth reveal. And that tells all for Ty and Jit Boys.
You can set yourselves up for a post-plant scenario now as well.
Thì anh em mình ngồi xem với nhau nhé mọi người.
Know that they can safely get themselves through the door. Bane swinging out, dead. Wanted to try to get the peek there before that final ping had come through. Freeing now going to be forced away. A molly from Mako can hold the door for a little bit longer. Ty is going to look to try to create some split pressure. No, both of them doubling back.
Mako was watching this before. Hai thằng đi main biết rồi.
Into the corner at the time. Starting to get away from them a bit. Straightforward. Player's position confirmed. Mako finding the first. Swings out, Jit Boys.
Sao không lừa quả bom nhỉ? Sao Mako không lừa quả bom luôn nhỉ?
I thought maybe Mako would send out the molly, but didn't think that he had enough time. They capitalize. Talon now once again reestablish a lead.
Always a risky thing, isn't it? When you try to bring out some utility and you hear the stomps on the floor, you think that they're a little bit closer than they might be. Love the investment of the Armageddons as well and the space that Cruz is able to find behind it. But similarly, just the right timing and spotting from Bane. Capitalize on the counter Armageddon that comes on out. It does all get ripped away a little bit though when you consider that Talon do get the round and stave off those ults there. So they'll be the first team to achieve double digits in this one, and also still having to be a little bit careful of their own investments. Light shields across the board, a Judge in possession again here. It's going to be Cruz this time holding that one.
Their ult cycle's in such a strong position as well, though.
Yeah,
Remy,
for sure.
ready to go. Thai, one away. Kalua, 3 charges for the Rolling Thunder. Where's Estrella and Mako? Just
Đâu, nó vụt nãy giờ rồi em ơi, cân kèo gì?
Yeah, Thai is
Nó vụt
towards
nãy
this
giờ
B
rồi
side.
cu.
Some good timing on a Sky Smoke
Cân
and
đâu mà cân.
lock out DRX for a little bit. Gonna try and sniff
hụt
out
thêm
where
phát
this
nữa
trap
rồi
is though
cân.
first, Hyunmin.
Gets the
Xong rồi.
catch. He's going to be picked revealed. Spray across, and Jit Boy's eventually able to find it. Retoggles the camp, steadies the spray. Estrella going to be taken down. Jit Boy's at 8 HP. Still finding value. Comes away with a third, and suddenly as the dust settles, we're in for a 2v2. Both players approaching from Talon, making their way up through tree. Ult at the ready, sent, invested, dodged. Both sides not cleared out. The snapback coming through, he survives. But Bane is there to capitalize.
Not planning for him.
It is not planned for him at all. Dalton's kill, let's see if he can add another one on top of that. Off the defuse is Kalua, and it's going to be a Red Bull clutch as Bane crests the 1K mark. 10-10, we're tied up once more.
This one is close. This is the sort of level of Valorant that we wanted to coming in towards a elimination series like this one. Glad to see that we're getting this one. Glad to see that we're seeing teams and players in the server not scared to go for these duels, not scared to hang around and try and fight it on out, right? Do
Hai
see
đội này có khả năng lùi về đến
a lot of
Master
teams
không anh
just
em?
try and
Còn
shift
chứ.
and
Họ thắng
scurry
trận này là
away
họ
and
thắng được
play
trận sau thì họ
retake.
đến được Master mà anh em.
Talon
Quan
recognizing
trọng là
that
họ
they
thắng được trận
can't
sau
get
hay
out
không
of
thôi.
dodge.
Hai đội này hoàn toàn có cơ hội đến Master.
Bane with the clutch though, and now it swings in favor of DRX with the economy. I mentioned it just before, right? Yeah, the ult game was looking a little bit stronger for Talon, but the weaponry mark, yeah, not so much. They take a knee. Down on the pistols here. Hope to find a cheeky round.
And Jit Boys has been doing wonders here for the team, but in this position is not going to be able to do too much. Just a classic there to try to hold down main. The site now wide open. Ty clearing out the camera there with the Sheriff. Eats a little bit of damage. Orbital strike going to be a bridge well too far.
Launching smoke.
Barring some kills being found here in the next few seconds, but nothing spotted quite just yet. Mako, shoulder not noticed. That's going to be a weapon nearly handed over. Bane is there to try to protect, sees it picked up. Knows where Kalua's position is at.
Uh-oh.
And he's a little bit off on the shots. Now stunned up. Now about to be taken down. And suddenly, that orbital strike, it looks a bit tastier here.
Trong này mà thua thì chịu.
The Fring though, able to find one more. Primy gonna be taken
Sẵn sàng bật
down.
một cái ulti chỉ để đuổi lấy một round.
Miễn
là nó là một round quan trọng
around,
giúp
gets
các
a
bạn chiến thắng.
headshot on the Cruz. Things getting a little bit scattered here for the side of DRX, but a round victory still is going to be found. The lead theirs, and wisely in the end. Talon do hold on to their ults after all.
Yeah, no, definitely the right call for them there to have them available into this next round because you're getting into the nth moment in this map as well, right? 11 to 10. You need to make sure that you've got kind of everything up your sleeve available in these sort of scenarios when you also consider that Talon did lose map number 1 of their own choosing, right? So they have to
Ôi,
win
em
this
vào
one
em hỏi anh
and
giải
push
này
into
giải
the
gì
third
với
and
anh?
This round quite stacked, but I see Marco one away from the
Khó
orbital
lắm
strike.
nha.
I see Estrella
Khó
and
nha.
Freeing both 2 away from their ults. I mean, even Bane's 2 away from his ult too, so there's going to be plenty of options for DRX in a map that is stacked with ulti orbs.
Yeah, last couple rounds, decent little swing for them as far as the ult economy is concerned. Oh, Young man on the jiggle, goes back in, spots out even more, and he's able to slide away.
Been really impressed by Primy's quick saturates as well to counter Hyunmin's aggression and speed. Definitely the right value proposition when you consider away late.
The fact that everyone gets away scot-free, no damage suffered. A little bit shocking, but Bane just trying to create some pressure, clears out the cam over on that A side of the map.
Oh, Cruz.
I'm interested, but yeah, Cruz now sliding forward, taking space here within the smoke. slightly red, and he goes out on a timing, maybe thinking that it was just going to be one player lurking here, but instead he gets a rude awakening as he spots 3.
Because when you see a player that deep in A main, you do consider that it is just going to be a lurk scenario there for anyone hanging around tree. Quite unfortunate for him, but now with things pivoting towards this other side of the map, you're going to have to test with the Cypher utility that Jip Boys does have at now the A site, bit different.
Thôi bạn này không biết thì trả lời. Con này là Pacific State One của Valorant em ơi. Nó là một giải hệ thống như kiểu là MSI của LOL ấy. Nếu như em không xem, nếu em xem LOL thì em sẽ biết, còn nếu em không xem thì em có hiểu đại loại là một mùa nó có nhiều giải nhỏ khác nhau. Các cái giải nhỏ này thì sẽ là tổng hợp để lấy các cơ hội đến các giải lớn hơn. Thì cái giải này là giải thế giới, thì nó là một cái giải nhỏ của vũ trụ trái đất. Nếu như mà em bắn tốt ở giải này thì em sẽ có cơ hội đến những cái giải liên ngân hà để có thể giao lưu với cả các khu vực sao hỏa khác, các khu vực sao khác ấy. Thì lúc này sẽ gặp các cái đội từ sao này sao kia, sẽ gặp các đội sao hỏa sao kim rồi các thứ 12-10. GG anh em ơi. Ông này nổi tiếng nhiều view nhiều tiến sĩ thế nhỉ, ông nào ấy? Ông nào ấy?
This will be their stage 1 coming to its conclusion.
12 to 10, another round where a couple of key moments that it could have gone either team's way. Not able to find a lot of value off the Cypher utility on the site. You're flushed out by the orbital strike. You're trying to buy yourself some time as well, just on the rolling thunder that you send back. But as the stuns do fade, as you say, it's DRX going with some great ideas. It's the double swing as well. So now it has to be flawless for Talon. They'll stampede in towards tree to get some further information, and Killua will open up the books by finding Hyunmin.
Certainly a good kill to be found. Primi still pushing forward. Mako only reading this, but Bane.
Cũng có thằng Naret vào kênh mình tin không kìa.
Primi, he's right here. They spotted him out. He finds the first, but he can't quite get that second. Still though, damage dealt a 2v4. Talon looking like they are in well positioned to get this within touching distance of OT.
The idea for DRX now to play contact as well, silently to the choke entry of this B site.
Surely you just hold on to this ultimate unless you can get it to a close position. Oh, there's the smoke out. Mako gonna be dropped. Straya now left scratching his head.
Làm gì mà OT được?
Yeah, they do have investments in the next round, of course. Mako maybe requesting a weapon though. So in a spot like this for Australia, 30 seconds to go, priority on dropping the gun for your teammate or looking for damage against Talon, who again have been very fickle with the economy. It's going to be the earlier one though, so a bit of time for the team to talk as well here in what they want to try and navigate towards the next round. Wouldn't be surprised if we've got a timeout, still usable.
Could come through.
10 seconds left.
One away from pushing this into OT. Talon clawing their way back, but for Australia, a bit too risky. Cruise one charge from having that Armageddon online, having a combo of that with an orbital.
Yeah,
could just be insurmountable at the end of it.
OT lại cản vào map 1 chỉ của tôi là phiền nhá. Tôi tính trận này là tầm 50, tầm 4 giờ 50 là xong.
They've got the Armageddon online. They don't have an orbital strike, but they do have something else. Yeah. So we go into the last round of regulation.
Last round now.
Timeout that we were just mentioning.
Round 23/24.
Come on through. Of course, you get another one going into OT. So why not use it here?
And yep, it will be from the DRX camp. Both teams had one remaining, so DRX will go ahead. The first one to pull the trigger here on Fracture, and the last, unless this does in fact go to OT. Just given the run back, given the ults, is very, very possible here.
Yeah, but I mean, I cast my mind back towards Icebox as well, and I know we've seen a lot more from Talon on this map, but having 9 first kills and only converting that into 4 wins too, right? DRX had less first kills, and they were always winning these lesser equipped rounds, lesser playered rounds, so in towards this next one, it is very vital that we've just got some sort of advantages held by Talon to try and push us into OT. Of course, these sort of scenarios as well, on the back of a timeout for the rookies, if they get in their own heads here too, right, that could absolutely spell disaster. Killua, Die, Primi to a degree too, right? Still relatively new to this sort of scene, this tier. So let's see what's going to happen. The last round of the regulation.
It's looking like a B-side crunch here. North and south side both occupied here from DRX as Primmy jumping up over the top, getting himself onto the box, and this is
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
maybe a bit more of an
Chút cuối thì
unorthodox
sao?
position.
Đại điện trên
To
Nashola.
try to anticipate playing against when you have a way on the opposite side.
Yeah, we haven't seen it at all.
Và laser không kích. Bị đúng ký ức.
Obviously, if you have a raise, you definitely give it
Tôi
credence
nghĩ
to
là
Jet as well.
không OT được.
This could certainly catch
Đây có
him
thể là một trong
completely
những cái
off
viễn
guard.
cảnh mà nghĩ đến OT nhiều nhất đúng không?
No, for now, though,
Chỉ cần
at
không
the
chết.
ready. Cruz, he's able to find
Không.
one gunman, taking down Cruz, finding a second. Does eventually get picked off here by Estrella. His ult's now starting to get dumped. Orbital strike, catching Bane, taking him down to 10 HP.
And that's just going to be an immediate
Các bạn có ít điểm xanh thật đấy. Thề luôn. Mọi người mới vào cho mình xin một like nha. Thank you mọi người nhiều.
Find the two towards arcade.
Molly sent Bane.
Give me. Give me
What?
what?
There's one just on the opposite side here of the site. Tries to swing for it.
Give me what?
Shot, but Primmy
Cố lên nào.
from that gen
2v3. Chỉ cần còn Marco là còn có thể nha. In Marco we trust.
No corpse here for Jit Boys. Unless he can get himself over to arcade.
Like thêm một cái đi cả nhà.
Estrella anticipating the pressure
Rồi.
here. Position on the site. Plays off his util, finds the shot. Primmy looking for a little bit more. Comes away with it. And now it is all down to Mako. Molly having to be invested.
Chưa tốt.
Primmy trying to get the catch here. Slow up his time, but as Mako swings out, he is double facing. Talon clean up the round. 12-12, we're going to OT.
And now they're not going to be plagued with any haphazard buys as well. They're going to have what they need. They can consider if they want to get another operator back out, but I think Primmy's looked a bit better, for example, on these rifles. So, on the back of the timeout, the DRX not able to convert it.
Trời ơi.
Chuẩn
bị có cổ hũ cả TE đây anh em ơi. Xem nốt map này đó mọi người nhá. Xem nốt map này mình chuyển qua xem TE bất kể thắng hay thua mọi người nhá. Cầu Caro này DRX phải win chứ.
And now we see ourselves in the fabled OT where DRX definitely have a better OT scoreline result. But it also means that they've gone, you know, a lot of deep ones, especially on Fracture too. 13-11s, overtimes. It's always seemingly the name of the game here for them.
So the last one versus T1. Able to get in, kind of get out relatively quickly on that, but right now it looks like Talon going to be a bit of a different beast here. No operator in sight, no glass cannon. It's going to be straight up rifles on both sides. Big push out from Talon at the moment. Checking in towards B. Wary about some aggressive
Móc sau lưng kìa. Chip boy ơi, cẩn thận kìa. Bật cam lên. Bề phá cái cam thằng Chip boy là nó sẽ phải cẩn thận. Nó sẽ cần phải để ý nếu như mà phá cam của thằng Chip boy. Phải để ý ngược lại. Ok, phá cam tốt rồi, thằng Chip boy hết đường rồi. Himin. Rồi, về sai đi đã, thủ được. Máy đuổi. Với lây cũng nhanh. Nhanh lên mất E rồi, về đi Remy. Chiếm xong em rồi về thôi, gì nữa à? Nghe theo Jitboy đến cả cái AB lobby rồi.
Mako does slide up through canteen to reinforce this B site. The spike is there. You still have 3 players trying to sell an A hit.
Trying to toy with the rotations at the moment. Meanwhile, Freeing is still happy enough to frolic around the north side of the map.
Jit Boys walking forward. Cam check and Mako now just there, striking from behind. Expect that there's going to be some follow-ups. The Molly does get sent gunman at the meantime. Here, trapped the top site. Stunned up. Recovers, but then Primmy is right there on top of him. Headshot found. Estrella giving away his position. Strafing back as the salvos fly towards him. Plant going to be interrupted here for the moment. It's 13 seconds remaining. Primmy eating a little bit of damage, but the spike now on the floor.
Big Sands one here.
Bề break hôm qua bắn cày thì anh ai mà biết được chụp nó như nào em. Xem chúng nó khác gì xem MU đâu các bạn.
Kalua to try to hold it. The backup coming through. Cruz here, shoulder to shoulder with his teammate. They go 1 for 1. Mako, however, fighting back as Freeing finds Primmy. And Ty's position is known.
Được rồi nhá, xong rồi nhá các bạn nhá.
Time still on their side, but now into the 1v1. Ty looking for it, but Freeing finding
gọi là xin cái tuổi luôn.
It's the headshot as he's popping off. And TRX will once again themselves a match point.
Yeah, they had 2 chances to try and close it off in regulation, right? Talon pushing us into overtime, but now DRX back in the lead and switching back over to their attacking side. It was Talon that opted to start on attack on this map, by the way. So it is the side that DRX is just essentially coming from.
hero moments here. Really just boiling it down.
And a timeout comes through.
Timeout.
You get another one coming into overtime, right?
So once again, I have to question, who is it?
Talon, I would assume here on this one.
Tôi không nghĩ là hôm qua Vietcombank nó lại dãy được ở cái map sau. Nhưng mà một phần do
DRX is dead. Okay.
Do chính T1 hôm
They
qua
want to try and end this one early here and get a 2-0 clean map 1, unclean map 2, but yeah, it's entertaining.
Where was this tournament? The first 2 seasons specific.
Actually recognizing timeouts exist.
Yeah.
I can talk to my teammates. What?
He really wants to bring this one to an end. Not allow for that further reset, for this to go deeper.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about teams trying to have consistency throughout the year, right? EDG not going towards Toronto, T1 not going towards Toronto. DRX were our victors and
anh có BGS đánh bom không có nhá Tùng ơi. Đây, có mấy phút nữa là xem được BGS rồi. Đây, xem nốt round này là anh em tắt luồng qua xem BGS đó mọi người nhá.
On champions to make another appearance to have an opportunity at a trophy. We'll see though, you can tell how desperately both of these teams want that final slot.
Yeah. Back towards this A site yet again for the setup of Jit Boy. It's a bit different in the actual placement of the trap wires as Hyunmin is stunned. He is in the site and not having to contend with any of the traps just yet.
Mỗi mùa mỗi khác
get situated.
Nó còn phụ thuộc vào nhiều yếu tố nữa.
Cam over the top, looking for the spot out. Now going to be cleared here.
Oh, this could be a 5 versus 5 post plant. These are always so
Mako
scrappy.
Pressure on both sides. Here's it. Faces it. Has to backpedal away though as the plant coming through here on the side. Steadies for 1. Looks for a little bit more. Reswings some damage down the straight. Gonna get it at the same time as Cruise able to find that kill now. A 4v3 Bane. He's riding the rope.
Đâu, trận này ai thắng thì vào trận tiếp của nhánh thua. Đã làm gì thì chung kết tổng em. Hai cái thằng này thua lại sắp mặt lờ ra.
And this could be absolutely
ai thắng thì vào được trận nhánh thua tiếp.
Swings in, sees 1, sees 2, strikes now.
Hai.
Able to find 2 back on the site. It's just Kahlua. If he finds the 1, he gets himself a rolling thunder. 8 points, but no hope in hell. Hyunmin will get the 3K.
Nice.
Get the series. 14-12. Push to OT, but out of it swiftly once again here on Fracture. They send Talon home, packing here at the Stage 1 playoffs.
GG, well played.
DRX now will have their sights set. One more matchup, Boom or Paper Rex, to see who is going to Toronto.
And for Talon as well, no clean series that really feels like their lost win trajectory is still coming true here. Not able to break that one, again coming back and not able to break that map number 1 curse on Icebox. But I gotta say, you know, the game against Gen G looks scrappy. They have some resilience against Nongshim Red Force, but then again, you still have some missing components from them. And a lot more missing, I gotta feel like in this one today. 13-4 on your own map pick is not something that you're gonna absolutely come away with any good feelings. And map number 2, you gotta feel like you were starting to find some rhythm.
Lố 5 phút rồi à?
Just ripped away from you.
Chuyển sớm kịp lúc anh em ơi. Anh em ơi, mình sẽ tắt cái luồng livestream này để mình lên một cái luồng livestream khác nhé mọi người nhá. Chúng ta lên một luồng livestream khác để mà cổ vũ cho team T nhé mọi người nhá. Anh em nhớ quay trở lại kênh này cho mình sau khoảng tầm 2 phút thôi. Đúng 2 phút là luồng mới nó sẽ được lên. Nhá. Thank you anh em rất là nhiều. Nào, chúng ta lên luồng mới nào.